And good afternoon, everybody. Tad Kozaneski along with Mark Narducci here on Jones Intercable Channel 13. Today we have an Olympic American battle for you between Overbrook and Edgewood. Both teams coming in off of wins, looking for a big season for both.
Well, absolutely, Tad. Edgewood last year was 10-7 with a predominantly sophomore team, and as we get a look at the starting pitcher, Hal Mitchell there are a lot of people that think that the Eagles have a chance to contend in what might be the toughest conference in South Jersey, the Olympic American. I mean, obviously Cherry Hill West, the defending champ and four-time defending state champ, is going to be there. Cherry Hill East, Washington Township. But Edgewood, this could be a breakthrough season for the Eagles.
And leading things off for Overbrook will be Mike Sager. He is a senior playing center field today, one of the leaders on the team. Curveball in the dirt.
Yeah, and that's where Mitchell really, he gets, last year he was 5-3 for this Edgewood team as a sophomore, pitching against great competition, and that's what he does. He has a sneaky fastball, but he gets pitchers to go after that breaking pitch a lot. Sager showing good restraint.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball a little inside, 2-1. Sager batted over 300 last year too, and Coach Sindoni said he really counts on this guy getting on the base paths and starting things off for his team. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to shortstop Mike McCrae. He gloves, throws over to first base in plenty of time, and Sager's out for the first out of the game.
Of course, McCree, we saw him last year, Tad, in a game with Jones Intercable where he put one out against Cherry Hill West. He's going to emerge, I think, this year as one of the top sophomores in the area.
And that'll bring to the plate Joe Cruz, the second baseman today. He is a sophomore, played as a freshman last year. And Mark, you really said this is one of the guys to look out for.
Yeah, he had the 2 extra base hits in the opening game against Camden.
There's a ground ball foul down that first baseline. And here comes your Overbrook starting lineup as you get a good look at it. It'll be Sager, Cruz, Rozicki, Potts, Summers, Landel, Lofgren, Rain, and Kane to finish things off here. And once again, we're looking at Joe Cruz batting from the left-hand side. Pitch to him. There's a line drive hit right at the third baseman. McCree knocks it down, hustling in there, and an error on the throw. Looked like making a turn out there was Cruz, but he'll make it back to the bag. And how are we going to score that one here, Mark?
Well, I think you have to score it an error because McCree did a great job of doing what you want your fielders to do. He got his body in front of the ball, had plenty of time, but rushed the throw that time. I'd have to score that E6, Tad.
Sounds good to me. The throw was off, too. Showing a lot of good speed down there is Cruz, so we'll keep an eye on the sophomore at first base. Here's Mike Rozicki, a senior to the plate. He'll be playing third base today. He was hurt last year, had an ankle injury. First pitch to him. Fastball in there for a called strike. Very impressed with Mitchell on the mound thus far. Thrown 2 ground balls thus far.
Of course, a lot of pressure on Klein back there catching.
Hey, there's a lot of room back here too, Mark. You miss a ball and it's a guaranteed extra base. A lot of room out here.
Yeah, Klein, by the way, converted infielder. Now behind the plate for the Eagles.
Just missing outside there. Pretty good pitch on a 2-strike count there.
It's interesting, Mitchell on the first 2 batters, Sager and Cruz tried to go more off-speed stuff. Now he's been basically going with the heat against Rozicki.
1-2 pitch. Curveball in the dirt. That's a pretty nice curve he's got there. He's got some good action on that ball.
Well, the other thing is, and one of the reasons he was so successful last year, he got batters to swing in a lot of balls. And again, that time Rozicki used a lot of restraint and holding off on that.
Rozicki back in. 2-2 pitch coming right now from Mitchell. Fastball hit foul down the right field line and out of play. Pretty respectable amount of foul play room here down the sidelines. I don't know what the distances are to the outfield. The wind is blowing fairly hard, though, towards right field and towards the corner. You get a shot down there. The base runner at first. That's Cruz. Reach base on the error. Rozicki, okay. Well.
The umpires are Anthony Aaron behind the plate and Bill Getzinger on the bases.
pitch. Stealing down there, missing on a strikeout, making it in there easily on the steal is Cruz. So Cruz is going to get a second, make it on second base on a steal, and going down swinging is Rozicki. That's the second out of the inning here. That'll bring to plate our pitcher for today, Mike Potts. Last year as a pitcher, he was 4-4, a real gutty, hard-nosed kid, they tell us. He's also a junior as he steps in there. Has a runner in scoring position. We're here in the top of the first inning, just underway. Runner at second base is Joe Cruz. He reached base on an error and just stole second base. First pitch to Potts. Swung on and missed for a strike.
You know, it's interesting because Potts knows a lot of these Edgewood people very well. They were teammates this summer on that fine ATCO American Legion team. In fact, that was a team that actually upset Brooklawn once during the regular season.
0-1 pitch. Inside for a ball 1-1. I was talking to the Bars, too, about this upcoming season. Of course, Brooklawn, one of the notorious powerhouses in South Jersey, they're really concerned about this ATCO team. They think ATCO has what it takes this year.
Well, the two teams we're seeing out here will make a large majority of that, the Overbrook and the Edgewood players. And I think there is reason to be concerned. I think a lot of these guys got to play Legion as sophomores, and they're going to be seasoned coming in. In fact, I think that's why both of these are going to be improved high school teams.
Both teams, again, 1-0.
Tell you what, Potts, for his size, pretty good power, and if you want to limit his effectiveness, I think you want to try to jam him inside. You don't want to give him any room to extend those arms. And again, that's exactly how Mitchell's trying to pitch him.
He does definitely have some good size out there, Mark. He gets one in that wind towards that right center field. That ball's going to travel out there. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mike Potts. Line drive center field. Dianunis coming in, makes a one-handed grab. So Steve Dianunis charging hard to his left. Pretty good line drive by Potts. That ends the inning. There were no runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. We're going to go to the bottom half of the first inning with no score. From the left side, here's Potts' first pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to leadoff hitter Ryan Bickle. Playing Bickle to pull, playing him shallow too in the outfield out there.
And like Mitchell, Potts also has a very good breaking pitch. May throw the ball a little bit harder, has a little bit of a better fastball.
That pitch just missing on the outside corner. It's 1-1. I am impressed with the speed I've seen from both of these pitchers. Good control too. You can see him kind of painting the plate out there. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A little bit low. It's 2-1.
Well, I'll tell you what, Edgewood's success this year, a lot of it will rest on whether the 2 table setters, Bickle and McCree at the top of the order, can get on base. Both have good eyes. Both will make you throw strikes.
Fly ball in the left field. Kane chasing it, hooking to the line. He makes the play. That's a tough play, Mark, from the opposite side batter. That really hooked to the line pretty good there.
Yeah, Kane got a very, very good beat on it. And, of course, he's an excellent athlete. He was a football quarterback for Coach Larry Moriello this year, and he made a nice play.
Batting second today, Mike McCree, the shortstop in his game against Eastern the other day. He walked and scored, singled and doubled in that game, so he's off to a real hot start. McCree is a sophomore. There's that breaking ball, pretty good pitch right there.
I'll tell you what, though, at that time it got by McCree. I wouldn't throw too many of them to him, though. It was a little high up there.
Fastball on the outside corner, just missing outside. 1-1.
Boy, and again, one of the effective things about Potts is he never gives you the same look 2 times in a row. That time, ball tailed away. That time he came a little more in on the batter. Just a very, very crafty pitcher out there.
It's amazing, too, how technical the young men have gotten out here with the good coaching that goes on in South Jersey. You know, they're out there painting both sides of the plate, moving the ball around. You can see the catcher shifting around from our home plate camera. 2 well-coached teams out here today. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball line drive through the legs of Rozicki down at third base. Probably should have had it, but I'm going to be a little charitable on that, Mark. I guess we'll give a single right there to Mike McCree because he hit that out there on a line.
It's funny, I was screened on that play and didn't get a very good angle, but that just shows you the bat speed that McCree has. And I'll be honest with you, Tad, by the time he's a senior, I'm not sure there are going to be too many better players in South Jersey.
Ball was hit an absolute seed down to third baseman Mike Rozicki. Rozicki, standing right on the edge of the grass, had a little trouble with it. Here's Steve Dianunis, the center fielder, a senior now. He had a single in his first game and only game here.
And again, McCree with very, very good speed, looking to get the move of Potts. Now the other thing is Potts has a pretty good motion and a move to first base, and that time McCree looked like he was just studying it a little bit, but could be some pressure behind the plate on Brian Rain.
There you see, taking a lead is McCree. Todd steps off. It's amazing, too, that young man is only a sophomore. You've heard so much about him. Mike McCree at first base, and of course the batter is Steve Dianunis. There's a line drive into center field. Sager coming on, makes the one-hand grab. Throw back to first base, back in safely will be McCree. But Dianunis hit that ball on a line, too. That's the second out of the inning. That'll bring to the plate Rourke Bursner. He's the first baseman in this game. He struck out twice and was hit by a pitch in his first game. 2 outs in the inning. McCree at first base. Rourke Bursner is a junior.
And again, 3 of the top 4 hitters in this lineup, underclassmen.
Hit pretty hard into left field, falling in for a base hit. Kane brings it in. No advance by McCree. So McCree moves up to second base. Bursner on a pretty good single. Seemed like he got it off the end of the bat and just kind of carried that into the outfield there.
Yeah, the other thing is, people, we've seen Potts before, and Potts has better velocity than this, even though it's pretty good. But you're not going to see the best velocity on a pitcher the first time out this season. You know, they're just going to need some time to really air it out.
Here's the DH, Carl Lang, to the plate. Lang is a senior. He had 2 singles in his first game. 2 men on base, 2 outs. Curveball a little bit high for a ball.
You know, and that's been the problem so far. The Edgewood batters have been able to sit on that fastball. Potts has to show that he can get that breaking pitch over.
Playing him straight away. Really not a lot of scouting could be done because there was no preseason games at all with the bad weather we've had. So everybody's pretty much being played straight away. 0-1 pitch. Ball 2, actually, it's 2-0 now.
Yeah, and the other thing is there's very little scouting done. Overbrook was able to actually get out twice and get a couple in. As you mentioned, not a whole lot of chance to see people.
2-0 pitch coming from Potts. Fastball swung on. Kind of a bad pitch selection there by Lang. On 2-0, you're just looking for a pitch in your area there, and that was a bad pitch, and he went after it.
Wow, absolutely. He swung at ball 3 that time, but I'll tell you, tough to hold back when Potts comes in at you like that with that rising fastball.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch now. Swung on and missed strike 2, and it seems like now Potts decided just to throw that fastball and doing a nice job of it.
Well, what he's doing is he's the last 2 pitches he spotted it. He came in hard on Lang the first one, then he hit the outside corner.
And now going down to talk to Coach Lee is Carl Lang. Getting a little extra instruction there.
And I'll tell you, against these Edgewood players, I don't think just having the fastball and gearing up and throwing it, you'll be able to be successful for 7 innings. Maybe Potts could prove us wrong, but I think a key's going to be if he can get that breaking pitch over.
2 balls and 2 strikes to the senior Carl Lang. Runners at first and second. 2 outs were in the first. 2-2 pitch. Grounded up the middle. Cruz, the second baseman, charge on the run. Gets the 3rd out of the inning. So Potts gets out of trouble in that one. He gives up 2 hits, no runs, 2 men left on base. We'll go to the top half of the second inning. We have no score.
Team is going to be right there in this league, and you know, everybody expects Cherry Hill West just to keep cranking it out. They've won 6 straight sectional titles, 4 straight state titles. They've been ranked in the top 5 in the country at the end of the season for 4 straight years. They lost 6 Division I players. Now, I don't care how good your program is.
Now we start the second inning. This will be Mike Summers leading things off, the senior right fielder. It's his first year as a starter. Pretty good fielder. So he's under a little bit of pressure today, playing in his second game as a varsity baseball player. Howard Mitchell on the mound, doing a nice job thus far for Edgewood. Both pitchers doing an outstanding job. Mitchell's first pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike.
And Mitchell's so much more effective when he gets ahead of the batters.
There's that changeup. Wow, that looked like a big balloon coming out there, and Summers bit on it. That was a great pitch.
Well, he's ahead of the count. He throws fastball. They have to be on their toes for it.
Fastball low and inside for a ball, 1-2.
And a nice piece of pitching by Mitchell, because what he was doing on that was he was just trying to back the batter off the plate and establish the inside corner for himself.
1-2 pitch, curveball, swung on and missed, strike 3. That was an unbelievable curve. Going down swinging is Mike Summers for the first out of the inning. That'll bring to plate the shortstop, Brian Landolt. Landolt is a junior. Hard-nosed player, could be used in relief possibility in this game today. First pitch to him, there's that curve again, a little bit low for a ball.
See, now he starts behind the batter. It's going to change his whole way of thinking. If he goes according to form now, he'll try to go with maybe a fastball inside.
The 1-0 pitch, there it is, fastball inside. Well, you did your homework today, Mark, I'll tell you. 2-0. Both teams coming in off wins, both 1-0 in this Olympic American contest today. 2-0 pitch, in there for a called strike, it's 2-1. Two 2-1 pitch. Fastball pop foul, could be playable if the wind blows it back in, and it's just out of play, almost wiping out a spectator behind the Edgewood bench down there.
Yeah, Mitchell remains effective with the fastball up and in. A lot of them are strikes, but the way they're tailing, it's tough for that batter to decide on that.
Stepping back in is Landolt. 2-2. Mitchell's 2-2 pitch. Changeup missing inside for a ball. That's one of those pitches, Mark, that's been lost, I guess, throughout the years. That used to be a big pitch back in the day, I guess you could say, and not thrown as much anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not. I don't think it's taught as much, and it really throws a batter off stride.
You can see it just sitting here. It kind of catches us kind of lean a little bit here. That's really got to be a tough pitch to hit when thrown effectively. As that one was fouled back to the screen, as I'm sure you heard.
The only problem with Mitchell's is he's been throwing them off with the guessing game, but he does tend to leave it a little high.
Great curveball in the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for Howard Mitchell here, and that'll bring to plate the first baseman, Greg Lofgren. Pretty big young man, coming in at 6'2", decent fielder. And he was only a pitcher on the varsity team last year, so this is more or less his first time as a fielding player coming into play this year. He is a senior. 2 outs. We're in the second. Popped up in the infield. Here comes Burstner. Burstner makes the play. So a real good inning for Howard Mitchell. 3 up, 3 down. We're going to move to the home half of the second. We have no score.
There's no question. Routinely, you'll be seeing Olympic American and National Division teams in there.
So we'll keep an eye on that as the season progresses. We'll be seeing a lot of Washington Township, of course, as the year goes on. Leading things off for Edgewood here in the second is Chris Klein. He is a senior. He was 0 for 2 in his first game. First pitch to him in the dirt low for a ball, 1-0.
Potts also could use one of those quick innings, threw a lot of pitches also in the first inning.
1-0 pitch in the dirt and low again. It's 2-0. You can hear the Edgewood guys starting to talk things up here.
Oh, it's amazing as Bob Lee gives a signal there. Mike Potts last summer, playing for Atco's American Legion team, beat Haddon Heights and pitcher Bo Gray.
Wow. That says a lot right there as the count goes 3-0.
I mean, Bo Gray for Cherry Hill West was 30-0 as a high school pitcher, and Potts beats him in the summer on a very good, by the way, a very good Haddon Heights Legion team coached by Mike DeCastro.
And walking on 4 pitches is Chris Klein. So Klein leads things off here in the second. That'll bring to plate the left fielder Greg Smalls. Smalls is a junior. Had an outstanding football season too, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, this Edgewood football team with Wajid coming back, the fine young running back, and a guy who I think is going to be one of the best football players in South Jersey, Art Dreyer, a 6'3", 225-pounder.
Smalls trying to bunt. I don't know if I guess to move the runner around because he didn't really square out though. Square around.
Well, here's the thing. Even if the runner for some reason gets thrown out, Smalls is at first base. He's one of the top base stealing threats for this Edgewood team. So obviously you want to advance the runner, but they also have to watch about him. He's fast enough to get on himself.
0-1 pitch coming from Potts. Around the squaring around again. Pickoff play at first, fairly close, but in safely, and there is Klein. You got to be careful as the runner down there at first base when you know the batter's going to be bunting. You don't want to commit too early because you get picked off at first fairly easily.
Yeah, nice job that time by Rain, but the time when you really can get a batter to be fooled on something like that is when you make the snap throw from your knees. He stood up a little bit, gave the base runner Klein a little bit more time.
Problem with the hand out there of Chris Klein as he's walked over to the bench. They're looking at his finger or his hand there. Now he puts on another glove. We can only guess what that was all about. He appears to be okay. Makes it back down to first base.
The small but vocal crowd showing their approval.
Smalls going to get back in the box. Smalls again is a junior. Now Klein's ready. Takes his lead.
Rozicki really playing up at third base.
Pickoff try again, back in safely, and there's Klein. Got to be careful. That's a good way to lose some teeth if they take the bunt off there. The way he's way in at third base. I don't know if you can see that or not down there at third, but he is way in. He's definitely looking for the bunt. Either that or I hope all his insurance is paid off. Is he coming again? Now he's coming. Inside for a ball. They may not have to make a bunt here.
Hey, be smart now. Come on, boy.
Smalls back in the box. Pitch to him. In there for a called strike pickoff play again. Back in safely is Klein. Full count right now. Full count, nobody out.
It's a big pitch because Smalls has a very good eye, and once he gets on base, he certainly can create some havoc. It's a very big pitch right now, early in the game.
Fastball called strike 3. Might have been a little bit low. That's what Smalls thought. But he goes down looking at a big strikeout for Mike Potts there.
It's one of those things when the count's full and it's that close, can't let it go. And Potts making the pitch he had to, low and away. Probably that pitch probably the most velocity we've seen in the early going from Potts. Really snapped it.
He really brought that one. 8th hitter coming up now, John Thum, a junior, comes to the plate. He struck out twice in his first game. He's been talking over with Coach Lee now down at third base as to what he's going to do here with 1 out. These guys pitching today, it could be just a 1 or 2 run game as we're in here in the second with no score.
Well, the reputations of both, you don't expect a whole lot of runs.
Fastball inside for a ball.
Boy, Potts continues to have trouble hitting that inside corner. That's when he struck out Smalls in that last pitch, it was a nice outside fastball. He's having trouble establishing that inside pitch for a strike.
1-0 pitch, low again. That's almost where that called third strike was, down in that area there. It's 2-0 right now. see the lead off first base over there. That's Klein. 2-0 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed for a strike. It's 2-1.
And that's Potts at his best. Again, hitting the outside corner. That ball was actually in the glove when Thune swung at it.
Interesting, too. Thune coming off 2 strikeouts last game. Got a 2-0 green light in that situation. 2-1 pitch. Round the bunt. Foul tips it. 2 balls and 2 strikes there. Kind of like he wanted to bump but didn't quite commit himself. A little late there.
Well, I think what it shows you is a real bit of respect for Potts. You know, here you already have 1 out, runner only on first, and you're trying to bunt over. That's a lot of respect for this junior pitcher.
Potts coming with the 2-2 delivery. Runner going, taking for a ball, throw down to second, stealing it, standing up down there was Chris Klein. So a stolen base for Chris Klein.
And a great piece of running by Klein because he couldn't have run at a better pitch that time. Potts threw an off-speed pitch, took a while to get there, and I thought it was a very, very good throw by Rain, but obviously Klein had a good jump in the fact that he got the steal on that off-speed pitch.
So Klein, a catcher, steals a base. Believe it's a full count here if I remember correctly. Thune back in. The pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Beautiful pitch by Mike Potts. Going down swinging for the second out of the inning is John Thune. That'll bring to plate the 9th hitter in the lineup today, Howard Mitchell, the pitcher. He is a junior again.
Interesting that both left-handed pitchers bat from the right side.
And exposing that pitching arm. Chance to help himself here. Klein on second base. Here's the first pitch. Fastball hitting to right center field. Summers chasing, running back. Can't make the catch. Is it a ground rule double? They're signaling a ground rule double at second base, Mark. Yeah, it is a ground rule double. Great hustling effort by Mike Summers there. From sitting where we are, Mark, I cannot tell if that was a home run or not, to be honest with you. All I know is Summers has got to be a little sore there.
I'll tell you what, I really thought it was a ground rule double, but again, we do not have the greatest vantage point here.
I don't know if we're going to get any help from the truck or not here, but that's just a difficult angle out here. They're going to go look at Summers out there. There's Coach Lee. Coach Lee's beside himself out there.
Well, he thought it was a home run, and he and Jay Stillman are both arguing their case.
What did you call?
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
And I'll tell you what, Tad, this, with the way that green fence is and the sun on that, it's very, very tough to see if that went over.
I'll tell you, Mark, I could not tell from here. Poor Summers, though. Summers looks to be okay out there in right field. He hit that fence hard. Thank God that was kind of a mesh fence. Now they're going to give him a home run. Wow, I've never seen that. Coach Lee must have some serious pull with the umpires here.
Well, Tony Sindoni's not very happy about that.
I don't know about that. I don't know how you can change your call there, Mark. That's something that I find really hard to believe. All right. Fortunately, we're not going to get another shot of this, but that's a tough one to take if you're Overbrook there.
Well, the one thing is, Tad, if you're an umpire, the thing you want to do the most is get the call right. Now, maybe they saw something. Again, from our vantage point, it's tough to criticize them either way because, you know, you saw it one way, I saw it another way, and we were sitting next to one another, so it's kind of tough.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say it was a ground rule double. I watched the second base umpire for his decision, thinking that he would have the call being the closest. He initialed ground rule double right away. I didn't see what the home plate umpire signaled. Nonetheless, though, they are ruling it as a home run. And now they're going to play ball. If I'm Overbrook here, I've got to feel really, really upset right now. That's 2 big runs, too, in this game. The wind blowing that way helped carry that ball out there, too.
I'll tell you what, if anyone had a vantage point on it, it would be Summers. It'd be interesting to hear his recollection of it and get
Well,
his opinion.
If we had the lie detector test down here, I might strap him into that, but otherwise, I don't know.
Tony's not very happy.
I wouldn't be happy either, Mark. Like I said, it would have been one thing if they would have called home run right off the bat. Then I'd say, okay, fine, I can live with that. I don't know about changing the call there, because the second base umpire clearly, I watched him all the way. He clearly said ground rule double. Nonetheless, it's a 2-0 game now. Bases are cleared. Leadoff batter Ryan Bickle comes to the plate. He flew out to left field back in the first. First pitch to him. Low in the dirt, 1-0.
You know, lost in all the controversy is the fact that Howard Mitchell smoked one of the best pitchers in South Jersey and really took him downtown. Outstanding piece of hitting by Mitchell.
Yeah, it was a line drive. Had a little bit of help from the wind, but that was a great hit there. Low in the dirt again, 2-0. It'll be interesting to see how Potts reacts to all this.
Potts continues to have trouble getting that inside fastball for a strike.
He's got to have a little confidence down here. The opposing pitcher took him deep. 2-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ryan Bickle.
You know what's ironic? Before the game, Bob Lee, the coach of Edgewood, and his assistant Jay Stillman were talking about it, and they were thinking about using a DH for Mitchell. Well, I bet they're glad they didn't do that.
2-1 pitch, curveball. I believe that was outside for a ball. Yeah, boy, it is outside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike now is the count. Fastball, that was 3-1. I misheard the umpire. I apologize. That was ball 4 right there. I don't want to say Potts is being a little bit upset, but you know, it's hard to tell right now. He can't be too pleased with what's happened the last 5 minutes here. So Bickle's on first with the walk.
I'll tell you what, though, no matter how upset he is, it's a home run. He's got to pitch now. And now he's got to pitch to one of Edgewood's most dangerous players, McCree. And I'll tell you what, if I'm Bickle, I'm thinking running almost from the first pitch, because you want to get him in scoring position. You know McCree can get him in.
McCree singled his first time up in the first. He singled and doubled in his first game. There goes the runner. Play down to second base. Throw, good throw, and he's out at second base. So a pretty good try right there from Overbrook. Rolling 7s up to that point, but being picked off at second base is Ryan Bickle.
That was a great throw by Rain, and good thing I'm not managing, because I would have sent him 2 on that pitch. But Rain just made an outstanding throw the second.
So a lot of room for movement upward for some of these young guys. Here's Brian Kane, the catcher. Kane, a senior. First pitch in there for a strike. This is his second year of varsity. He does have a pretty good arm, as we saw last inning. He's hit over 300 last year. Mitchell's got to be fired up as he's up there on the mound.
Come on, Brian Ray!
Inside for a ball, 1-1 as Rain back in the box. I jumped ahead and said Kane, I believe there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brian Rain. 1-1 pitch. Change up inside, 2-1.
And unlike some of his other changeups, which have been high, that one was low, and that's really where you want to throw that changeup. Good job by Rain showing some restraint.
In there for a called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brian Rain.
If you notice, Tad, that Mitchell not throwing with the velocity that we've seen of Potts, but he's doing a much better job spotting his pitches and certainly throwing more strikes.
Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3, so Rain goes down swinging. That's the 3rd strikeout in the game right now for Mitchell. That'll bring the 9th batter in the lineup to the plate. This is Darren Kane, a senior. Kane playing left field today. He's a first-year starter.
Got some varsity action last year. As we mentioned, was a starting quarterback on what ended up being a very tough year for Larry Moriello's Overbrook team, but they had a lot of young softs, juniors, and I think they're going to be a very improved football team next year.
1-0 pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike, 1-1. The thing I think makes Mitchell effective, Mark, is the changes in speeds that I'm seeing with
Absolutely.
him. It's really amazing how different there are between the fastballs and the changeups. Popped up in the infield. Lindsey, the third baseman, under it. plenty of time. He squeezed it for the second out of the inning. So there's 2 down, and that will bring up the leadoff batter in this game. That's Mike Sager, who grounded out to short his first time up.
And Mitchell is the kind of guy who again, is not going to blow the ball by you all the time. He's not going to break the record for a radar gun, but he knows how to pitch, as you mentioned, spotting things. And you don't always have to throw 100 miles an hour to be effective, as you see right there with that strike.
It's really tough as a batter when you're seeing a 20 and 30 mile an hour difference between pitches to get your timing down.
Now he starts off with a breaking ball. He'll probably come inside with the fastball. He's been moving inside now. He went with another breaking pitch that time.
But to your credit, it was inside. They lined him up inside. 0-2 right now.
Well, and again, if you go by his pattern, he'll probably try to throw one away.
Curveball swung on, strike 3. Impressive inning. Howard Mitchell, 2 strikeouts in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We move into the home half of the third. It's 2-0 Edgewood. So that's a lot.
But if you go the 7, if you go more than 5 in one day, then you have to rest the 4 days. It gets complicated. And there have been teams that have eventually had to forfeit because of inadvertently violating the pitching rules.
McCree back up to the box. He was up last inning, but Bickle was caught stealing, so he'll come up and bat again. He is a sophomore. He's definitely going to be one of the guys you'll be hearing about 2 and 3 years from now. McCree back in the box. Fastball in there for a called strike. Might have been a little low, but called for a strike.
It's interesting because Potts has been throwing his fastball low outside, high inside.
Off-speed pitch, grounded foul. Coach Lee going for it. Can't quite come up with it, though.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, McCree that time waited just a little too long on that, but if he could have that back, I'm sure he wishes he could.
Very impressed, though, with the way, it's the first time I've had an opportunity to see him myself. Very impressed with the way he swings the bat. Pitch to him. Fastball grounded foul again. Let's see if Coach Lee can grab this one. Oh, he had it and lost it. So give him the E.
Made a nice recovery. Bob Lee, of course, also the football coach here at Edgewood.
Potts from the windup. Check swing. Potts managed to foul out a play. That looked like a Pete Rose kind of hit there. You want to just fight the pitch off there. Got fooled a little bit, though.
Yeah, he did, and to his credit, he was able to stay alive by fouling it off.
That's good. He's eager to swing. I like that. Here's the pitch. Swung on and foul tipped and dropped. It hit our cameraman down there, down along the first base line. And here we are sitting here. We're about 30, 40 feet behind home plate and with our heads exposed here, so hopefully we won't be feeling the effects of a foul ball. Swung on and missed. It'll go in the books as a strikeout, but hustling in and making it in is McCree. There's about 1.5 miles of room between home plate and the backstop, so McCree officially striking out but goes to first base.
Boy, and that was one of those 55-foot curveballs that just bounced in front of Rain, had no chance at it.
And that'll give you good ideas how good his curve is. It bounced that far in front of the plate, and McCree, considered a pretty decent hitter, could not stop. Here's Steve Dianunis, the senior center fielder of the plate. He flew out to center field his first time up.
Tell you what, do you think the fact that the Rain threw out Bickle the inning before may have any effect on Edgewood's strategy on running?
Well, we won't have a chance to find out yet. Popped in the infield. Lofgren holds on to the ball. First baseman Greg Lofgren makes the play. They might have a chance to go here, though. It'll be interesting to see. Rain has shown a real good arm, though, today. One down. That'll bring the plate. Rourke Bursner, he singled back in the first inning. Bursner, a junior. And as I said, he got the first win as a pitcher the other day. McCree takes his lead. First pitch. Fastball swung on and missed for a strike. I'll tell you what, Bursner was looking for that one. Swung right through it, though.
Tough to lay off that high fastball. Potts is
really here in the glove.
Movement.
Really crackled the glove here, too. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball inside for a ball, 1-1.
Tad, I know I keep saying it, but he continues to have trouble in that inside fastball. If he could ever throw that consistently for strikes, watch out.
1-1 pitch. Fastball popped foul over our heads and onto the tennis court behind us.
Yeah, McCree going on that pitch that time.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Rourke Bursner. We're here in the 3rd inning. 2-0. Edgewood with the lead on the home run by pitcher Howard Mitchell. Stepping off is Potts.
You know, and I think McCree running that last time may affect the pitch selection. 1-2 right now, you think you throw him a curveball away or something. I think Potts will keep with the fastball knowing that McCree may run.
Curveball in the dirt low.
Well, that would have been a good pitch to run on.
Yeah, and Rain made a real nice job of blocking that ball. 2-2, 1 out. Again, we're here in the 3rd. Potts from the stretch. 2-2, runner breaking, ground ball to 3rd. Rosicki going to get it in foul ground. So once again, going on the play was McCree.
I think McCree went one play too late. Again, with the 1 and 2, might have been a better shot. He certainly would have had a better pitch to steal on. Now, again, you would think Potts will just be throwing heat.
2-2. Rourke Bursner, the 4th hitter in the lineup. He's a junior.
There you go, Rook. Here you go, kid.
2-2 pitch. Curveball popped foul. Could be playable. Chasing is Rosicki, but he's going to run out of room. Didn't have quite enough speed to catch up with that one. So Bursner has second life again.
Come on, Rocky.
But you were right. There is a lot of room in this foul territory here at Edgewood.
Yeah, most fields are usually fairly narrow around the leagues here in South Jersey, but you do have a lot of room out there. Not many fields also have as much room behind home plate as we're looking at here. 2-2. Bursner back in. Runner stealing, fouled back to the screen. McCree seems to pick all the foul tips to go on now. It's the 3rd time he's had to go back. He'll be in good shape after this game.
Boy, and again, Bursner certainly swung at a ball that time, but Potts has been having a lot of effectiveness with that high fastball.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Rourke Bursner. Stepping off, and there's Potts. Potts did a good job of staring down McCree there, too.
Now, one thing, have we seen Potts' move yet? I mean, he stepped off the mound a couple times. I would make him show that move. I would have a one-way lead.
Runner going, ground ball to 3rd. Rosicki, bad hop. I don't know what you're going to score that, but that took a nasty hop in the grass there. Wasn't quite his fault. I guess I'll be a little charitable. I'll give him the hit there on the real bad hop down there at first base. So Bursner has his 2nd hit of the game. That'll bring to the plate Carl Lang, the DH. He is a senior. Lang grounded out to 2nd his first time up. So runners at 1st and 2nd. 1 out here in the 3rd.
What was so tough about that was the 3rd baseman was going to the right, and the ball all of a sudden took a dart to the left that time.
Fastball popped out of play down along the first base side.
So Rosicki's body was going one way, the ball the other, and that's a tough way to field a ball.
It's a good way to pull a muscle, too, out there. Trying to lean back for that. So Potts in a little bit of trouble here in the 3rd inning. He's trailing at 2-0. McCree's on 2nd base. He officially struck out, but reached first base on the passed ball. Moved to 2nd base on the single by Bursner. 1 out. 0-1 pitch. In the dirt. Rain blocks it for a second. Runners advance. No real play down there at 3rd base. Rain tried to get his body in front of it there, Mark, but lost the ball. It's going to be a wild pitch, I think, here as we move him up 1 base.
And Rain again got hit in the hand that time. And Potts continues to have trouble with his control, Tad.
Looking down at Coach Lee for the sign. As you see on the mound, Potts. From the stretch. Fastball low for a ball. He has been real low today. Is that 2-1 mark or there it is, 2-1. Thank you back in the truck there for helping me out. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Not a bad pitch. I think squeeze maybe.
Not coming. Fouled back at the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Notice when they're not our team to manage, we can have all this daring strategy, right?
It's
easy sitting here saying.
We've got the best job in the world. No doubt about that. We can second guess everybody here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The ball's still sitting in front of us. They're going to have to come back right in front of us to pick it up. Rain brings it back into play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. We're in the 3rd inning. I'm Tad Kozaneski along with Mark Narducci here on Jones Intercable Channel 13. Potts needs a strikeout here from the stretch. 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3. The high heat really entices Carl Lang there, and Lang goes down swinging for the 2nd out.
And obviously Potts should really be out of this inning with the strikeout, but he threw the wild pitch on the 1 strikeout.
Well, he's really, and then if you take the play down at third base with the bad bounce there, that probably should have been an out.
You know, one thing that has to concern Overbrook, Potts has thrown a lot of pitches here. We're only in the 3rd inning.
Here's Chris Klein, the catcher. The senior walked and scored back on the 2nd. He scored on the home run by Mitchell. From the windup, first pitch, off-speed pitch in there for a strike.
Boy, and one of the rare times that Potts started off with a strike off-speed pitch. Now this is going to make him much more effective. Probably come in with the heat.
In there for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes quickly to Chris Klein. Oh, they called a ball. I'm sorry, Mark. 1-1. I apologize there. I thought the umpire signaled a strike. 1-1 pitch. That's definitely low. That's 2-1 now.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us.
I thought the umpire signaled a strike on the last one. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. 2-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. He's floating that high up by the letters though, Mark. Gotta watch. With that wind blowing as hard as it is to right center field, you're in trouble if you're hanging those off-speed pitches.
Had a lot of success low and outside.
2-2 pitch. In there for a called strike 3. So Chris Klein goes down looking. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left on base. Tad Kozaneski back with Mark Narducci here. Jones Intercable Channel 13. An Olympic American battle today between Overbrook and Edgewood. The lone 2-run scored on a home run in there by the pitcher, Howard Mitchell, back in the 2nd inning. It's been a pretty good game nonetheless. The home run was kind of a questionable call. Originally ruled a ground rule double. Then on 2nd appeal by Coach Bob Lee, they gave him the home run. So we're here getting ready to start the 4th inning. Overbrook needs to get something started. Mitchell's had an outstanding day. 5 strikeouts thus far. Oh, excuse me, 6 strikeouts, I apologize. Leading things off here for Overbrook here in the 4th will be Joe Cruz. He reached base on an error back in the 1st and stole 2nd. Cruz, a sophomore. Played as a freshman last year. Wind really kicking up. First pitch, curveball low in the dirt, 1-0. Man, oh man, is the wind kicking up here. One ball and no strikes to Joe Cruz. Overbrook trailing it by 2. In there for a called strike. That's a real nice pitch by Mitchell. 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch. Fastball popped up in the infield. McCree, the shortstop, calling it. Plenty of time. Squeezed it for the 1st out of the inning. That high outside fastball, that's a tough one to hit. And that will bring up the third hitter in the lineup, Mike Rosicki, to the plate. He struck out swinging back in the first.
Now it is a tough pitch to hit, but again, Cruz at least using the right method on that outside fastball, trying to go the opposite way, just got it way up too high.
Mitchell's first pitch. Fastball just missing inside, 1-0. Once again, Mitchell 5-3 last year. He is a junior this year. 1-0 pitch. Fastball in the inside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Rosicki didn't like the call.
Well, the other thing about Mitchell, he works very quickly, doesn't mess around out there.
Line drive to shortstop McCree. He gloves in plenty of time, makes a nice throw. And Rosicki's down. You gotta like that, a pitcher that throws quickly. That means we get home for dinner that much quicker than later.
That's assuming there's any dinner left, right?
That's true. That is absolutely correct. Here's Mike Potts to the plate right now. He flew out to center field back in the first. Potts is a threat. He's got some serious size to him. 2 quick outs here. Swung on and missed for a strike. Man, oh man, Howard Mitchell, I'm very, very impressed with what we've seen from this young man today. 0-1 pitch, curveball swung on and missed for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
Boy, I'll tell you one pitch I wouldn't throw Potts in the next sequence, and that's a strike, because he's shown that, you know, he'll go out of the strike zone. I would still continue to make him to chase bad pitches, throw nothing.
There you go. He heard you. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back in the box, and there's Potts. 1-2 pitch. Change up a little bit low in the dirt. 2-2.
Now you may have to change that.
He may go after him here. Let's see what happens. 2-2. Curveball swung on, strike 3. Outstanding pitch right there by Howard Mitchell. They go down 1-2-3 in the fourth. It'll be the junior Greg Smalls leading things off for Edgewood. He struck out looking back in the second inning.
Interesting there, you saw Smalls and Rain, pretty good friends, having a little bit of joking around with one another before they get into the heat of the battle.
Look at the third baseman too. Rosicki is way up on the grass.
Well, he has to be with small speed.
First pitch, swung on the breaking ball for strike. I don't know if we can get a shot at the third baseman or not on the grass, but he's backing up a little more. He was way up on that pitch.
Well, I'll tell you, I would have stayed up just because he swung at that one pitch.
Did he go? Yes, he did. No balls and 2 strikes to Smalls. Smalls seems to really be confused by Potts today. He really hasn't taken a good cut up there yet.
Well, he struck out on that fastball on the outside corner after trying to bunt a couple of times.
Fastball in the dirt low, 1-2.
By the way, Potts has quietly chalked up 5 strikeouts over the last 2 innings.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Greg Smalls. In the dirt low again. You know what? When I used to play, here we go now, bringing back the memories now. Throwing the curveball into the wind, Mark, gave me a lot of problems too. I would always have a lot of problems getting the curveball over with the wind blowing in your face, and I think that's what Potts is going through a little bit here.
Tad, no offense, but from what I heard of your career, you had trouble with the fastball.
I had no fastball. That was the problem. I had to throw all curveballs, and when I had the wind in my face, I just come out there shaking my head.
You were an admitted junk ball specialist?
That's all I could do.
Oh, gee.
Missing inside and drawing a walk there is Smalls.
Boy, that you don't want to do that, especially ahead 0-2 to maybe the fastest runner on the team. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if he's going to go on the first pitch, but you can almost bet that Smalls is going to be leaving sometime.
Taking it easy there. Some of the substitutes taking a look on. Well, actually, they could be starters. I shouldn't open my mouth there. There's our first look at the pickoff move we were talking about a little earlier.
And again, lot of times pitchers won't show their best move. Potts does a little better than that, I know that.
Fastball, high for a ball.
Now, I know you're down 1-0 in the count, but this might be the time I'd go for a pitch out.
He's looking. Catcher Rain was looking to see if he could pick up a sign there. Let's see what happens. 1-0 pitch coming. In there for a called strike. It's 1-1.
Another one of my foiled strategies.
Now running down to talk to the coach out there is Thum. Thum struck out his first time up. Thum, a junior, talking things over with Coach Lee. I don't know if he missed a sign there.
Well, the only sign he could have missed would have been a bunt, right?
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
See, thinking on a bunt is he might be able to get safe at first, because you would think, unless it's really a bunt right at someone, that Smalls can get the second.
Well, up on the grass is Rosicki at third. Lofgren's holding the bag, of course, at first. Smalls not going, coming right at us. Look out, over our heads there. Man, oh man. Beautiful, beautiful day. It's a shame the wind doesn't calm down a little bit here.
Yeah, beautiful day if you like 50 degrees and wind in your face.
Well, at least they're out there playing.
That's
3
true.
weeks ago, I mean, it was amazing how bad the weather was. Runner going, throw down to second base is low. Nice scoop made out there, and safe in there is Smalls with a stolen base. Smalls did a nice job. He got a pretty good jump there. Pretty nice scoop out there, too.
Well, I thought Rain got rid of it pretty quickly, but Smalls just had too big a jump. Plus, he's too fast.
2 balls and 2 strikes to John Thum. Runner in scoring position out there is Smalls at second base. 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. So Thum goes down swinging for the second straight time. There's 1 out here in the inning, and that'll bring up the star of the game thus far, Howard Mitchell, with a ground ruled but ruled home run back there in the second inning. I'll try and explain that as we go along in case you missed it. Has 2 RBIs. First pitch to him. Curveball in there for a strike. He hit the ball to right center field. The wind blew it a little bit. Right fielder Summers went after it. Initially ruled a ground rule double, then overruled after the argument by Coach Lee for a home run. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for a strike. He was swinging for the fence on that one.
Well, he's trying to pull a low fastball, and you're not going to have a lot of success on that. That one tailed away, too. Good job by Potts. Now I think he's going to come in on him.
Fastball swung on and missed, and going down swinging is Howard Mitchell. That's the second out. And unofficially, is that the 7th strikeout, Mark?
Yep.
7 strikeouts for Mike Potts. Leadoff batter coming up to the plate in the lineup. This is Ryan Bickle, the junior. He flew out to left field in the first and reached base by walking in the second. Smalls still at second base.
Hey, by the way, don't discount Smalls maybe trying to steal third.
Well, it'll be in the catcher's advantage here with the left-handed batter up. He'll have a clear shot to third base.
And Overbrook trying to keep him close to the bag, too.
First pitch. Low for a ball, 1-0.
And that pitch shows why stealing third in this situation is such a big thing, because we've talked about it before, what a long way it is in the backstop. Good job that time by Rain on the block, got his body over there.
1-0 pitch. Fastball in the dirt again. Rain's really been tested down there. He's going to be a bruised young man after this one. 2 balls and no strikes. See if they're going to let him take a cut here. You definitely don't want to walk this guy for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th hitters coming up.
Really, the guy you didn't want to walk was Smalls. That's the one Potts wants to have back after having him down 0-2.
2-0 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 3-0.
You know, I think Potts has been a little unnerved by Smalls at second base, and sometimes a pitcher will try to get it to the plate a little quicker. He really has to concentrate more on the batter and worry about the runner right now.
I think the coach just said to walk him here, if I heard correctly from Coach Sindoni. They're going to walk him right now. Sindoni wanted to make sure that, you know, they do it without a pitch. So an intentional walk given to Bickle.
Although you call that intentional with three balls on him already?
I don't know what the official rule on that, to be totally honest with you, Mark. Okay, that their umpire discussing you're only allowed to have one conference with the batter. Here's the young man we've been talking about for his first 2 at-bats, Mike McCree, a sophomore. He singled in the first, struck out and reached base, though, on the wild pitch in the third. 2 runners now on base. In scoring position is Smalls. First pitch, fastball right down Broadway for a called strike. That would have been a nice one to go after right there. Belt high right down the middle. No balls and 1 strike to the sophomore Mike McCree. 7 strikeouts for Mike Potts. Getting to the crucial time in the game. This is a crucial at bat right here. 0-1 pitch. Fastball hit the second baseman. Cruz squeezes, throws to first, and getting out of trouble is Potts. No runs in the inning, no errors, 2 men left on base. We move now to the top half of the 5th. It's 2-0 Edgewood.
I would say the Pilgrims, but I don't know. That'll be a trivia question for our...
Maybe Joe can help me out with that one. Taking a ball in there is Mike Summers as he comes to the plate here in the 5th inning. Mike, a senior, struck out back in the 2nd inning.
You know, in fact, people ought to call Joe Vasali on Talking Sports on his show and ask him that.
I would like to find that out. Tell him Tad wants to know. Tad and Mark want to find out what their nickname is. In there for a called strike.
Of course, if we were that crazy about it, we'd call the school, but that's another...
I don't even know where they are. I've never heard of them until you just mentioned it, Mark. That tells you how on the ball. Look out! Boy, I lost my glasses on that one.
Hey, Tad, I almost lost my eye. That came right back at us.
Dust off the old sunglasses here. I thought we were going to eat that one, Mark. Notice how both of us, neither one of us put our hands up there. The athletes that...
Yeah, we both showed such slow reaction time. We barely got out of the way of it.
Oh, boy. Summers back in the box. Pitch to him. Fastball swung on and missed. Called strike, or swinging strike 3. I'm all kinds of disoriented now. Now I got to find a pen.
I'll tell you what. I'm middle-aged. You don't have an excuse. You're a young guy.
I play men's softball now. I'm not used to seeing a ball coming at me that fast. Summers goes down swinging for the 2nd time. I believe that now is the 7th strikeout for Mitchell. Here's Brian Landolt. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. That was my biggest fear, that a ball would come winging right by us, and sure enough it did. Swung on and missed for a strike. That was right by the ear of our cameraman standing over our shoulder. That was the 8th strikeout there officially for Mitchell. Swung on and missed for a strike again. Landolt not swinging the bat too well here.
Well, he struck out the first time in the curve, and he's just sees any kind of fastball, and he's hacking away.
Curveball in there for a called strike 3. Landolt goes down looking this time. That's the 2nd out, and that's the 9th strikeout for Howard Mitchell. A pitching clinic going on by Mr. Mitchell as we look at the Rams bench. They need to start something soon. There's Mitchell.
Well, how about that? Your 2 Edgewood pitchers, Bershner and Mitchell, 19 strikeouts in the first 2 games.
Unbelievable. That'll give you something to go on as the year goes on. Here's Greg Lofgren, a senior. Back in the 2nd, he grounded out to first. Fastball popped foul over our heads. Out of play.
Boy, and I just love the way Mitchell works and how rapidly he works, keeps his infielders and keeps his fielders into the game, has a nice rhythm. Doesn't mess around too much on that mound.
Now, do they have any kind of speed up rules? I know they're speeding up the pros. Do you know if it now? No speed up
Now,
rules here?
although I think that, you know, the Diamond Classic rules under the auspices of Joe Hartman, the founder of the Diamond Classic, they do have speed up rules, and I'll tell you what, I wish they did use them during the regular season. It really makes the game go quicker, have a nicer flow.
Curveball swung on and missed there. And I was just reading an article in your paper today, too, as a matter of fact, I guess it was Japan. They were trying to break ties early, and they went to a point-scoring system for the amount of runners on base. And one team won the tournament, the preseason tournament, based on the fact that they had more runners on base.
It's an interesting...
Well, they said at midnight the transit system shuts down, so the game has to end by midnight, so that's their only solution. Kind of interesting. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. They're going to have to throw it down to first base. Low throw and a nice scoop there by Bursner. So striking out the sides is Howard Mitchell. He now has 10 strikeouts. Nobody reaches base. We are going to move on to the home half of the 5th. It's 2-0. Edgewood with the lead.
We both went to a school that's probably in that boat.
They haven't won since, was it 85 or 86? They were talking about Paul Six football program. Line drive, base hit into center field. Dianunis, with his first hit of the game, makes him 1 for 3. So once again, Edgewood with base runners early.
Oh, he jumped on that high fastball, too.
So as we go back for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and now for the 5th inning, they have every batter that's led off has reached base.
By the way, for the record, Paul Six last won in 87.
Oh, I'm really sure changed them there then.
Thanksgiving against Camden Catholic.
Swung on and missed. I'm really glad that their choice of the head coach, too, a guy I graduated with and played with, too. I'm really pleased to see he's out there. Phil Cracchiola was named the head coach. I saw him at a couple of their games last year, and he's taken over. And
that's right. Our at the Inquirer, our columnist Sam Carchidi talked to Phil, and it's very confident about it.
He's a real disciplinarian, real skilled player. There's one in there for a called strike. Tough pitch to take right there for Bursner.
You know, one of the differences is Potts has been getting his breaking ball over, and if it hasn't been getting over the plate, at least he's been getting edge with the swing at it. That wasn't happening earlier on in the game.
Pitch to Bursner. Curveball popped up, looks to be playable. Chasing in his rein, he does have room, dances over. One-handed catch brings it in. That was kind of hairy there, but he makes the play.
I'll tell you what. He made that look easy. He had a tailing wind that time. He had to really fight for it. He's laughing there. The thing I like about Rain is he's having a lot of fun playing this game. I'll tell you what.
Little surprised Lofgren wasn't out there to help him out.
I'll tell you what, though. He wouldn't be smiling if he dropped that.
Carl Lang to the plate right now. He grounded out the 2nd in the 1st and struck out in the 3rd. Officially 0 for 2. Dianunis still at first base. He singled. We're in the 5th. 2-0. Edgewood with the lead. Runner going. Swung on, foul down the 3rd base line. So I guess we'll call it a little bit of a hit and run there. As going on the pitch there was Dianunis.
The thing is, Dianunis stumbled. It's almost good that for Edgewood, at least, that it did go foul, because he stumbled and did not get a very good jump.
So Lang going to get back in the box, looking at Coach Lee. No balls and 1 strike. Tad Kozaneski here, along with Mark Narducci on Jones Intercable Channel 13. First of many spring season events for you here on Channel 13. Pickoff play back to first in safely Dianunis.
Interesting about reputations. Rain looks like he has a pretty good arm, but until he gets a reputation, teams are going to continue to steal on him. And
0-1 pitch over our head again.
Yeah, Tad, that reminded me last year when Ryan Lazinski was playing for Holy Cross. No one even tried to steal a base in the first 8 games of the year on him.
That's amazing. That's respect for you. There you see the lead at first base. Pitch. Ground ball, charging in his cruiser, won't be 2. They're going to have to go to first, 1 play, And they do get the out there at first base as Lang grounds out the second baseman, Cruz. So pretty nice play there by Cruz. Edgewood was fortunate, though, that the grass really slowed that one down. That'll bring to plate Chris Klein. Klein back in the second inning walked and scored on the home run by Mitchell. He also struck out looking in the third. 2 outs now. At second base is Dianunis. Pitch to Klein. Fastball high for a ball, 1-0.
As we said, Potts is throwing a lot of pitches. You wonder how much longer he's going to go today.
There's no doubt about that. Nobody warming up here. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit into right field. Summers coming in, squeezes it for the third out of the inning. No runs, there was 1 hit and 1 man left on base. We move our way now to the 6th inning. It's 2-0 Edgewood. Howard Mitchell on the mound, controlling things today. Fastball in there for a called strike.
I'm telling you, Tad, if you have the radar gun, he would not be in the 80s, but the way he's spotting his ball, it's just tremendous. Again, a pitch like that, you wonder about Mitchell too now into the 6th. If he's showing any signs of fatigue, it'll certainly be something that Bob Lee and assistant coach Jay Stillman will be watching for.
1-1 is the count there to the catcher, Rain. Curveball, check swing down to first base. Burstner going to take it himself, steps in the bag for the first out of the inning. Really fooled Rain on that pitch there. And 1 out here in the 6th. That'll bring the 9th hitter in the lineup. Darren Kane, a senior. He's in left field today. He grounded out the third back in the 3rd inning. Howard Mitchell, the junior, 5-3 last year. Should we say it, Mark, or not? Mark just pointed out to me that our pitcher, Howard Mitchell, is throwing a no-hitter. I'll be honest with you, I was so overwhelmed with the strikeouts, I wasn't even paying attention. But as we sit here with 1 out in the 6th, he does have a no-hitter. Inside for a ball.
I'll tell you what, I was watching the Braves and Cubs, and Guzman was throwing a perfect game through 7, I believe, and then a no-hitter through 8 1/3. And I'll tell you, especially in the major league level, there's nothing I think as exciting as a no-hitter. I remember one time I was there at the vet when Doug Drabeck went like 8 2/3, and then they got a hit on him.
Ground ball, first baseman, tough play, Burstner. Guess what, Mark? There it is, just as we say it. There's the first hit of the game from Overbrook. I don't know if I want to say Burstner made a bad decision, but they tell the first baseman to go get everything you can get. I think Mitchell got caught off guard as he was late covering.
Well, he was late covering. You're absolutely right that time. And Bickle, I thought maybe might have time to get over there too. It was a very tough play.
And I knew I shouldn't have said it, so I apologize to Howard Mitchell out there. And now are they going to take him out of the game here, Mark? Or no, they're just going to talk things over here. At first base is Darren Kane, the 9th hitter in the lineup. Leadoff hitter now with 1 out coming up, Mike Sager. He grounded to short and struck out in the 3rd.
Of course, with the pitching rules, Burstner cannot go today. He went 7 the other day.
Right, there we go. And we have a pinch runner here coming in for Overbrook.
It's interesting too, Tad, that the 2 number 9 hitters have made the biggest impact on the game now. Kane here, and of course Mitchell with his 2-run homer.
Pete Fayette in to run, number 17. He's a junior. Keep an eye on him at first base. It's Overbrook here in the 6th inning. They're down to 5 outs. They need to get some runs on the board. First pitch. Fastball inside for a ball. Sager, one of the leaders on this team. First in short relief. Now they're going to go down and talk it over with Coach Sindoni. This is another conference, this Olympic conference, Mark, with some coaches here who've been around forever. That tells you how skilled a lot of these guys are and how good instruction they're getting.
Well, Tony Sindoni entered the season with 172 wins. Bob Lee, of course, has won state titles on 78, 79. He won one, I guess it was in 89 in Group 3. So he's had a lot of success here at Edgewood.
Fastball lined into right field. Toole can't get it. It's over his head. Heading now into third. Tripping over second base was the pinch runner. Stand-up double right there for Mike Sager. Sager clobbered that ball into right field. Threw the right fielder misjudged it. It sailed over his head. Overbrook with 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, you know, Tad, they always say the toughest ball for an outfielder to get is actually one hit right at him. That time that was hit towards Thune, he came in on it. By the time he got the flight of it, it was too late and he had to backtrack.
Mitchell asking Coach Lee if he can go in from the stretch. Line drive smash right there for Sager. That's the second hit for Overbrook. Both of them coming in this inning back to back. 1 out here in the 6th. Now going from the windup will be the left-handed pitcher. In the box is Joe Cruz. He reached base on an error in the 1st and flew out to the shortstop in the 5th. Crucial situation. First pitch. Pop foul out of play. No balls and 1 strike to Joe Cruz. Played as a freshman last year, playing obviously now as a sophomore this year.
And of course, if you're Cruz with runners at second and third, what you want to do is you certainly want to pull the ball now.
The pinch runner Fade at third base was the winning pitcher against Camden on Monday. 2 runners in scoring position. Tying run at second base in the form of Mike Sager. Mitchell in some trouble here in the 6th. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Curveball swung on back to us. That'll bring 1 run in. Coming in to score is Fade. So Fade's going to come in on the wild pitch. And we have a 2-1 ball game and a runner at third base. So a real interesting situation right now for Overbrook. They have a runner at third, 1 out. Joe Cruz at the plate. They're talking it over with Sager down at third base.
You know, a couple of those pitches have been short of the plate, and again, you don't want to harp on it, but you just wonder how much fatigue Mitchell has out there on the mound.
Mitchell stands in from the windup. Pitch to Cruz. Fastball in the outside corner for a ball.
And of course, earlier in the game, that was a pitch he was actually painting that outside corner.
Electing to go with the windup with the runner at first base. Do have a left-handed batter, though. That is in their favor. Fastball outside again for a ball. I believe the count is 2-1 here. Joe Cruz, a sophomore, back in the 2-2 they list now, the umpire. Mitchell's 2-2 pitch. Curveball foul tipped at the plate, so Cruz stays alive.
That's a good piece of hitting because he was totally fooled on that and just able to get a piece of it to stay alive.
And you can see how he's really in front of that ball too, Mark. He was very fortunate to get a piece of that there.
And we talk about McCree. Cruz is also a very, very good-looking sophomore infielder.
Don't be surprised if we see another curve here too, Mark. When you see a batter off as much as Cruz was there, I'd come back with it again.
The only problem is you have to worry a little bit about that long backstop and a curveball going in the dirt and going behind.
Infield is up. They're halfway, even with the base. The pitch, fastball outside for a ball. Full count right now to Joe Cruz. On deck, Mike Rosicki. One out. 3-2, runner at third. We're in the 6th. 3-2 pitch. Curveball pulled foul down the line.
And I'll tell you, give Cruz some credit because, as you had mentioned, he'd be a little fool on the curve. That time he waited on that, showed some very good patience, just pulled it foul.
It's interesting too, if you're Mitchell, he's been getting he's been getting Cruz to go after the curve. He's been trying to nibble on the outside corner, but has 3 balls on the fastball on the outside corner. So what do you do here? We'll soon find out what he chooses to do.
I would throw a fastball on the inside corner.
Let's see what happens. Full count pitch. Fastball fouled back to the screen. That was right in the wheelhouse there, Mark. That was right down the middle.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think Cruz may want to have that one back.
He had a beat on that too. It's tough though to throw the curveball to left-hand batter. It's going to be going away from him, and that's when you get those little pokes into left field that come back and burn you. So tough decision here for Mitchell on the mound. In a little bit of trouble here in the 6th. 1 run in. Tying run is at second base in the form of Mike Sager. Full count. The pitch. Curveball grounded back to the pitcher. Mitchell holds the runner. Back to first. They get the second out of the inning. That was a big, big out by Howard Mitchell.
Well, again, just as you said, Tad, gets him on that curveball, on a 3-2 curve. Is that showing some confidence in your breaking pitches?
Well, it just seemed up to that point he was trying to nibble too much with the fastball, and then he put a fastball down the middle, almost got burnt, as having a good beat on it was Cruz, so I thought he made a good choice there. Now both coaches having some talks here. This is a big at bat here, Mark. We're in the 6th. The tying run is at third base with 2 outs. Here's Mike Rosicki. So we get a good shot of Mike right there. Mike struck out in the 1st and grounded out to short in the 4th.
I'll tell you what, the only guy probably feeling more pressure right now than Rosicki is the catcher, Chris Klein.
That's true. Of course, he had that pass ball that put in the 1st run. Had a tough curveball to block, though, in the dirt.
Oh, yeah, I think we'll rule that a wild pitch.
Rosicki, yeah, wild pitch, first pitch. Ooh, there's a tough one in the dirt. Sure enough, as we speak at it, Klein had to get out there and block that one. 1 ball and no strikes to Mike Rosicki. 1-0 pitch. Called strike, 1-1. Rosicki didn't like the call, but looked pretty good from here. Rosicki back in. 1-1 pitch. Fastball high and inside for a ball, 2-1.
Again, that was a pitch earlier in the game he was getting, the inside fastball. I really think that Mitchell's showing a gutty performance, but I really think fatigue has set in on him. He's just pitching on guts right now.
Popped in the infield, it might fall, and it is going to fall. We're all tied at 2 on the single by Mike Rosicki. So what a difference here in the 6th. As we mentioned the no-hitter word to Howard Mitchell, he gives up 3 hits in the inning, and we're all tied at 2. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner. Big hit there, Mark, by Rosicki. Kind of got fisted inside and went the opposite field with it.
Fought it off, too. That's a great piece of hitting. We're going to have a pinch runner in right now for Overbrook, Mike Lamano, the senior.
So Lamano going to run down at first base. We are all tied at 2. Unbelievable. Mark, it all started by you by saying the word no-hitter.
Hey, you know, I don't believe in all that superstition. You know, you have to tell the viewers what's going on.
I was so into the pitching performance, too. I was not even paying attention to the hits there. Very impressive thus far. Mitchell, the game is tied. Mike Potts to the plate. He's flown out to center field and struck out in the 4th, 0 for 2 on the day.
And you just wonder if Lamano coming in as a pinch runner, they want to send him and get him in scoring position for Potts.
We'll keep an eye on him at first.
Boy, tough to just come right off the bench like that.
Mitchell from the stretch. Fastball high and inside for a ball, 1-0. the opposing pitcher.
And we haven't seen Mitchell's move today either because Overbrook hadn't had the base runners.
Inside for a ball, it's 2-0. Mike Summers on deck. He struck out 2 times. Definitely don't want to put the runner at second base here, though. 2-0 pitch. High and inside, ball 3.
I'll tell you what, I would give Potts the green light for this reason. Last time he struck out on that curveball. You know he's going to see a fastball on 3-0. Will probably be right down the middle. I give him the green light.
3-0.
No.
He's not going. Called strike right down the middle. I kind of agree with that too, Mark. Got to be a little aggressive, but hey, one pitch puts a runner in scoring position, a freebie for you, so you can't argue with that. He's got a 3-1 opportunity coming up. Called strike 2. He was taking that one all the way. Full count right now with 2 outs, so going at first base will be Lamano on the pitch.
You know, my thinking was if you're going to gamble, do it with your cleanup hitter.
3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Mitchell strikes out the opposing pitcher, Potts, but the damage was done as the no-hitter was broken. 3 hits in the inning, 2 runs, 1 man left on base. We move to the bottom half of the 6th. We are all tied at 2. A lot of pitches in this game. First pitch to Carabin. Low for a ball, 1-0. You can hear the Edgewood guys starting to get something going over there. Little chatter going on now.
I just wonder, first game of the year, how much either of the 2 pitchers have left. They've both thrown a pretty lot of pitches.
1-0 pitch. Fastball popped in the infield. Cruz, the second baseman, coming on. Against the win, he makes the play, but that was a little bit of an experience right there. But Cruz squeezed it for the first out of the inning.
Well, I think every pop-up is going to be an adventure from here on in.
There's a serious wind blowing from about third base out to right field. It is really kicking up out there. Here's John Thune to the plate. He struck out in the 2nd and struck out in the 4th. So Potts has had his number. First pitch. Fastball. Just missing. A little bit low for a ball. John Thune, a junior. 1-0 pitch, way low in the 3rd. It's 2-0. And that could be a case where Potts might just be trying a little bit too hard right there. He seemed to really reach back to throw that ball hard.
Yeah, the other thing is, a lot of times, and you would know this being a pitcher, sometimes if you get a little tired, you forget to use your legs and get them into it.
There are a lot of times that's the first thing that'll go. Line drive foul down the third base line. Thune leveled that ball down that third base line. 2-1 at a 2-0 green light there. Thune back in the box. 2-1 pitch. Fastball popped and playable. Shortstop Landau going out. He's calling for it. Ooh, and he squeezes it without a little activity there. 2nd out of the inning on the fly out to Landau. And that'll bring the plate the 9th hitter in the lineup. This is pitcher Howard Mitchell. He had a ground rule double back in the 2nd. It was ruled a home run on a further review, if you will. Then he struck out in the 4th, 1 for 2. He has 2 RBIs. 2 outs. We're here in the bottom of the 6th. Curveball for a called strike. Gotta hand it to Potts. He struggled for a little bit, but since that 2nd inning, he's been in control. Curveball, strike 2. Mitchell did not have a good swing at that either. I wouldn't be surprised. I would throw a curve again if I was Potts. I wouldn't even risk a fastball. Curve, good decision, low in the dirt. So many times you see young pitchers, Mark, make a batter look ugly on 2 pitches and decide, well, I'm going to fool him and throw something else. They end up getting burnt by it.
Yeah, right. They think that he's going to guess that. Well, Hey, even if he knows the curve's coming, if he didn't hit it the first 2 times.
I'm a firm believer if he can't hit it, throw it to him. 2-2 right now as he goes back with the fastball again.
But then again, how can we go by your theory? You're an admitted junk baller.
I love
You
the
throw
curveball.
curves all the time.
Curves and changeups.
Oh.
Ball 3, it's low. My brother got all the speed in the family. Full count right now. 2 outs. We're in the 6th, tied at 2. The pitch. Low in the dirt, ball 4. The 9th hitter walks.
You wonder if they'll get a pinch runner for him now.
Well, you can re-enter him in the game, of course, right? Just to give him a rest. It looks like the good Coach Lee is going to send somebody out there. Hopefully my paper won't be blown away. We can figure out who this is. That's Jim Tirado, who's going to run now at first base. I'm sure it'll be a courtesy runner. We'll see Mitchell back out there to start the 7th. Tirado having things talked over right now with the coach. Once again, we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. We are all tied at 2. Ryan Bickle's coming to the plate. He's the leadoff batter in the lineup. He's flied out to left, walked in the 2nd, and walked in the 4th. From the left-hand side, Tirado at first base. He is a senior. 2 outs. The stretch. Runner going. Throw down to second base. Pretty good throw. Safe. Making it in there is Tirado. Tirado, with no hesitation, went on the first pitch. Made it in fairly easily, even though Rain made a good throw.
I'll tell you, I'm not sure that was fairly easily. That looked like a pretty close play, but the one thing is, Bickle didn't swing at it and protect him either on that. That's what made it even more impressive on the steal.
I was really impressed with the jump that Tirado got out there. Runner in scoring position. We're tied at 2. Tirado's the lead run at second base.
And I'll tell you, Bickle's shown a good eye already with the 2 walks, so you're going to have to pitch him strikes.
Just missing outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Bickle.
And you know, if you're Potts, you don't want to come down to having to face McCree. You really want to do it here.
Low in the dirt. Runner holds. Pick-off play at second base. Making it back in safely is Tirado. But that Rain out there again. He's all smiles, but man, that had to hurt a little bit.
Well, he shows a lot of confidence in his arm at a time like that. You know, a lot of people worried about the overthrow, wouldn't make that kind of throw.
Gutsy play, no doubt about it, going into center field.
Come on, Mikey.
They're going to walk intentionally walking there, Bickle. I don't know, you know, obviously the coaches know what they're doing out there. McCrea has swung the bat well. He singled on a liner. He did strike out swinging and hit a line drive rope to the second baseman Cruz.
I don't make that move. I mean, obviously it's easy to second guess, but there's no way I'd make that move.
I'll have to second you with that one, even though we're facing a sophomore. 2 outs here in the 6th. Fastball line drive. Foul ball! No, foul ball! Foul ball! Foul ball. An awful late call by the home plate umpire. I apologize for calling it fair. It looked fair for me as it left the bag. Umpire called it after the ball left the dirt and made it to the outfield. He called it foul. The coach down at third, Bob Lee, thought that was fair. I have to admit, I was with him on that one.
I thought it was fair, but again, we have to be also fair. We don't always have the best vantage point from where we're sitting.
No doubt about that.
But anyway, that's the reason why I don't pitch to McCree. No matter what he does, he's got that kind of bat. You're putting a lefty-righty situation in, and a lot of pressure on Potts here.
Pinch runner is Tirado. He stole second base. No balls and 1 strike to McCree. Fastball low. Trying to advance is Tirado. Throw to third in safely. Both runners move up. Guess we'll score that one a wild pitch also. Pressure really being applied right now by Edgewood. They have the lead run at third and an insurance run at second base. Real solid hitter, a sophomore, Mike McCree at the plate. Now, do you walk McCree here?
No. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. I know there's a base open and everything, but Potts has been throwing some balls in the dirt. You want to give him a little bit of room to operate. You load the bases, you know, they could walk in the run. I think Tony Sindoni, though, may be talking about it right now.
Yeah, they're going to talk things over with the infield here. I don't know if they're going to make a pitching change or not.
Well, I don't think they're not going to do that.
We're going to take a quick break here. Runners at second and third. We're in the 6th with 2 outs. Mike McCree steps back in, tied at 2, second and third, 1-1 pitch to him. Curveball for a called strike 2. Big pitch by Potts. Critical play in the game as we are tied at 2. Potts from the windup. Fastball low in the dirt. Nice block by Rain. Can really see him trying to dig back and throw that ball hard. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, if ever the time you're going to try that curveball one more time on 2-2, this is the pitch. I thought he may come back with it last pitch.
2-2. Curve. Fouled back at the screen. Nice job in there by McCree of hanging with it. I don't even know if you can give him a fastball here. He seems to be on all the fastballs thrown to him today. The curveball's the pitch that's given him trouble. That's the pitch he struck out on. Once again, we're in the 6th inning. It's the bottom of the 6th. Tied at 2. 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Lead run and the insurance runner on base right now. 2-2 pitch. Fastball ground to third baseman Rosicki. He charges, he bobbles. Will he be able to tag out the runner? They have him in a rundown as Bickle, and they get him out. What a smart play by third baseman Mike Rosicki. Got a short hop, charged the ball mark, and wisely tagged out Bickle, who might have made a mistake in running that close to third base. I claim to know a lot about baseball, but that one snuck by me. So in essence, that means now Overbrook must get 1 run to tie. Mitchell facing Summers, who struck out twice. Low inside for a ball, it's 1-0. So 3-2 right now with the lead is Overbrook. Excuse me, Edgewood, I apologize. Swung on and missed for a strike. A lot of strikeouts coming up for Edgewood, or excuse me, Overbrook in this game, in this inning. Summers struck out twice. On deck, Landolt struck out twice. Fastball in there for a called strike. 2 strikes against Summers. This first runner is so important to get on base. Whoa! Nearly hit him inside. Did it hit him? They're looking down at the umpire at second base. No. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's almost one you could have taken for the team there, Mark.
Absolutely, there was not a lot of velocity on there.
In the 7th, 1-2 pitch, fouled right back at us.
But I mean, let's face it, Tad, your instincts take over, and your instincts always, let's get out of the way.
Oh, no doubt about it. I'd be the first to say I'd be the first one out of the way. I'm flinching at anything that's fouled back here, so no cut at all to Mr. Summers out there. 3-2. Edgewood with the lead. Howard Mitchell pitching outstanding. Fastball line into left field. It's a gapper. It's going to be a double. Going into second base standing will be Summers. What a piece of hitting on the fastball that was hung high by Mitchell. Hitting it hard with Summers. And a stand-up double. And just like that, here comes Overbrook again. That'll bring to the plate Brian Landolt, who has struck out twice, once looking and once swinging.
Now, Tad, the situation here, some people with strategy would say you bunt the runner over the third, and then you have you try to get them home from there. But the thing is, Overbrook's nearing the bottom of its order. I don't know. Tough call.
Well, here we go. Now here's Coach Sindoni going to talk things over with his hitter here.
I think if I'm Lindsay, though, at third base, I have to be playing up for that bunt.
See what happens here as they're talking things over. Big game. 3-2 right now with the lead is Edgewood. We're in the top of the 7th, nobody out. Of course, 7 innings is all we play here in high school ball, so this, in effect, would be the last inning unless we end tied.
Cold day like this, I wish they'd use those Japanese rules.
Pickoff play in safely there at second base. Summers in safely. Taking his lead is Summers. First pitch, they go down to bunt it and hit him. It gets away. The catcher, Lane Klein, can't find it. Holding at third base out there is Summers. So Klein kind of helping out there. He couldn't hold the ball, couldn't find it. It rolled right to us here in our little broadcast booth. So now Summers is at third base, and Overbrook has 3 opportunities to bring him home. Landau, a junior. Question here now is, Mark, how long are they going to stay if we go in extra innings? How long are these starting pitchers going to be able to survive out here?
You're right about that.
Pop foul, could be playable. Chasing it is Lindsay, curving back in. Can't quite make the plays. It rolls just over by our cameraman down there at third base.
I think both pitchers are noticeably less effective than they were earlier on, and I think both are really pitching on guts right now. Yeah, the one thing is, though, Tad, early in the season, cold day like this, you wonder how many pitches you want these guys throwing.
Howard Mitchell on the mound has a lead by 1. Landau back in the box from the windup now. Pitch out, looking for the suicide squeeze. Coach Sindoni didn't have it on. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Boy, a lot of pressure, the infield playing up.
2 balls and 1 strike. Fastball popped up, playable. Chasing it is the shortstop McCree, third baseman Lindsay in foul ground, makes the play. There's 1 out. So they dodge 1 bullet.
And now you have to ask again, with the bottom of the order coming up, Lofgren coming to bat, do you go with the squeeze with 1 out and the man on third? It's going to be a gutty call by Coach Sindoni.
He's looking over the signals right now. Lofgren has grounded the first and struck out. 6'3" senior.
He's choking up a little bit, so I'm wondering if that's an indication that he may be bunting.
He's around the bunt, pitch out on. Reading it down there was the base runner. That might have been a safety squeeze, Mark, possibly.
Very much so. In fact, you have to say it is so, because Summers certainly stopped running.
I'm surprised. Maybe it was just a decoy. Lofgren was around awful early.
Now look, he's not choking up at all, so we'll see if that's an indication that any kind of an idea of a bunt is off.
Little kind of a pickoff play there, making it back in safely is Summers.
I don't think he's bunting.
Swung on and missed for a strike. He swung right through that. 1 ball and 1 strike to the senior Greg Lofgren.
I'll tell you what, now I'd put it on. I would put it on.
Well,
not my team, not my game. I'd put the squeeze on.
1 ball and 1 strike. Tying run at third base. We're in the last inning. From the windup will be Mitchell. He's around the bunt. Pitch out on. He offers for it. It's a strike. Pickoff at third. Safe at third base. Oh, so close on the pickoff. Summers was coming down the line, not full speed, kind of halving it down there, if you will. It was called a strike. So I have here, Mark, 1 ball and 2 strikes right now. Well, the coach was thinking on the same lines as you there.
Except I would have come with a full squeeze, as you mentioned. That was a safety squeeze again.
Well, really saved it. The batter can if he wants to. I don't know if the high school rules. Yeah?
You know, he's choking up a little again. I know with the 2 strikes.
Inside for a ball.
Wasn't thinking of one. I think more batters should choke up with 2 strikes, by the way. You don't see that a lot in high school.
2-2. He chokes up again. 2-2 pitch. Curveball. Grounded to third base. What a play, Lindsay! Lindsay to the plate! Safe at the plate. We're all tied. Mike Summers slides in and ties it. But what a play by Rob Lindsay, diving to his left. What a great, great play by Lindsay and a great slide by Summers. We're tied at 3. More importantly, Mark, we have a runner at first base right now in the form of Greg Lofgren. So on the fielder's choice, Lofgren moves to first. Here's Brian Rain to the plate. He struck out in the 3rd and grounded out to 3rd. Excuse me, first, back in the 6th.
Boy, what a great play by Lindsay that time, too. And what's even more difficult is how far up he was playing, because the infield had to play up, still had the reflexes to get it, and did a good job, making that throw.
Fastball inside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Boy, and that fastball is considerably less fast right now in the 7th inning.
You can really notice it, too, out there. Very noticeable. Lofgren takes his lead. 1-0 pitch. Fastball high and inside for a ball. 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to the 8th hitter, Brian Rain, the catcher. All tied at 3 here in the 7th. 2-0 pitch. Inside ball 3. Mitchell in danger now, putting a runner in scoring position at second base. On deck is Darren Kane, who had the first hit back in the 6th inning for Overbrook.
And obviously, if you're Overbrook, you probably have to take 2 right here.
In there for a called strike. So he took 1.
Yeah,
3 balls and 1 strike.
I say with your 8 hitter, you make him throw another one.
Let's go! Let's go, bring it back! You gotta come here, right?
Stretch by Mitchell. 3-1 pitch. Pop into the center field area. Dianunis, center fielder on it. He's got a beat on it. One-handed catch over his head. That wind, you really get a feel for how much the wind is carrying the ball out in that area of the field. Dianunis almost misjudged that ball.
Yeah, made a great recovery that time, but again, that may have been ball 4 that he swung at.
So getting out of a 3-0 problem there was Mitchell. Darren Kane, the first hit of the game back in the 6th, he scored. Scored on the wild pitch. 2 outs here in the 7th. Lofgren still at first. In there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to Darren Kane. Popped up into left field. Smalls coming in on it. Under it. Squeezed it for the 3rd out of the inning. So 1 run put in on the inning after the double by Summers. So we move into the bottom half of the 7th. We are all tied at 3.
Mitchell pitching today, Edgewood having some bullpen action.
That's who we saw over there earlier. Swung on and missed there on the curveball. Dianunis leading things off here in the 7th. We are all tied at 3. Fastball low for a ball. That first guy up is a key man. If you can get him on base, you can make some things happen. Dianunis, a senior. Fastball outside for a ball. As the sun goes down, you can really feel the temperature of the coldness kicking in here too. 2-1 is the count.
Come on, buddy. Come on, Mike. Let's go. Kick it back up, Mike.
2-1 pitch. Low for a ball. It's 3-1.
I think one thing Bob Lee told his players is Potts is going to have to throw strikes to us. I think they're going to be very selective.
3 balls and 1 strikes to Steve Anonis. Dianonis, excuse me. 3-1 pitch. In there for a called strike 2. Full count to Steve Dianonis. Full count pitch. High and inside for a ball. It seems like Potts threw that ball an extra little bit there. Might have thrown it a little bit too hard. So leading off with the walk here in the 7th is Dianonis. Here's Rourke Bursner to the plate, the junior. He has 2 singles in this game, and he also flew out to the catcher. Are we bunting here, Mark, to move the runner over?
We very well, maybe, Tad. The first thing I would do, though, is I wouldn't swing at anything till he threw a strike.
Coach Sindoni out on the mound to talk with his pitcher. Mike Potts coming off a 4-4 record last year. As Mark said, kind of deceiving. He's pitched well all summer, too. We're in the 7th inning. Coach is going to leave him in the game.
Tough, too, to bunt with your cleanup hitter, a guy that has 2 hits on the day.
Yeah, he is the 4th hitter. That's a factor in this one.
Here's what I do. I would make him take until he threw the first strike.
That's a good strategy.
And Dianonis runs well, so I might even try to have him steal the base.
Inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Could be good strategy here. Unofficially, I have Potts walking 6 batters. Curveball fouled. Elected to go after that one.
Come on.
Gotta go get the ball. Gonna have him for 7 strikeouts. Runner at first is Dianonis. He walked. Rourke Bursner back in the box. Fastball in there for a strike. I think the crowd kind of tells you what they thought there. A pitcher's call there.
I'll tell you what, this is the pitch I run on.
Got a decent lead out there. He holds. Curve, blooped in the infield. Cruz, the second baseman, calls. He squeezes it. There's 1 out here in the 7th. That'll bring to the plate the senior Carl Lang. Carl has grounded to second, struck out and grounded to second. Gives a real long look to Coach Lee. See if we get some activity down at first base with Dianonis.
I think we're definitely going to get it. It's just a matter of when. It could be this pitch.
Got a respectable lead now. There he goes. Fastball check swing. First baseman Lofgren pitches to the pitcher Potts, and Potts there in time. We might have a runner picked off second. Throw not in time. Little indecision by Dianonis. Dianonis wanted to go to third. Went about 10 steps, stopped, and then decided to go back. And he almost got picked off second base there.
I'll tell you what, Potts did a great job. He's not exactly Carl Lewis when he's running, but what he is he's a smart pitcher. He broke for that bag right away, made the play. But now Dianonis in scoring position, and it's up to Klein.
Chris Klein has walked and scored, struck out, and flied out to right field. Dianonis at second base. He represents the ball game. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Potts steps off, doesn't like what he sees. Edgewood needs a hit to win it. Fastball inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Once again, as Mark probably said, don't be surprised if they don't swing until there's a strike on him. He swings, line drive, base hit, left field. Left fielder Darren Kane picks it up. They're going to hold Dianutis at third base. And a real good call, I think, by Coach Lee there, Mark. Dianutis would be a dead duck at home plate on a great throw by Darren Kane in left field.
I agree with you, and the other reason why he held him up was Dianutis just got a terrible jump off second base. And the ball was hit crisply. It got out to Kane pretty quickly, and Kane did a great job on the throw.
Coach Sindoni talking things over now. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. This is Greg Smalls who's going to come to the plate. Greg has struck out and he's walked. He was pinch hit for by Jeff Carabin, but Smalls is going to re-enter. Now Lee is going to call timeout to talk to Smalls. Now they're going to talk over with their first base coach again.
Yeah, Jay Stillman and Bob Lee talking some strategy, and I think one of the things they're saying is, do we pinch hit for Smalls?
Well, they have had a couple seniors have run in this game. They've had Carabin run a senior, Tirado run a senior. They have Albert available on the bench, Gambona senior on the bench, and Don Albertson, a junior, available on the bench, should they choose to go with them.
The other thing you really have to watch is now, and we've said it all game, the potential pass ball wild pitch with a guy on third base, that deep backstop.
And Overbrook, keep in mind, if they don't want to, they could, if they wanted to, let Smalls go and pitch the on-deck batter Thune if they wanted.
Well, I don't think they'll want to do that, but the other thing you have to worry about is, what about if Smalls tries to bunt for a base hit with his speed?
Well, first base.
I know it's unconventional.
Ground ball to third. Rosicki grabs. Plenty of time. Makes the throw. We go extra innings. Smalls just tried to hit the ball down in the ground, it looks like. But at the end of 7, we are all tied at 3, and we are going to go extra innings, Mark. Averaged over 300 in his career at Overbrook. Mitchell's first pitch to him. Fastball for a called strike. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Mike Sager. We're in extra innings in the 8th. Tied at 3. Sager takes time. They play Sager the opposite way, as we've seen a lot of balls hit deep towards that right center field. That's where the wind's blowing. Low for a ball. Sager back in the box. Curveball swung on and missed. Seems like every time that Mitchell's thrown that ball, the batters just cannot lay off that pitch. Sager wants to get on base. Lead runner in the inning's been awful important in this one. They got the lead runner Summers on in the 7th, and he scored. Curveball swung on, strike 3. Sager goes down swinging, first out of here of the 8th inning. Real nice pitch by Mitchell. Really had his number there with the curve. That'll bring the plate Joe Cruz, the sophomore. He reached base in the 1st on an error. Flew out to the shortstop and grounded out the pitcher, officially 0 for 3.
12th strikeout for Mitchell. Not a bad performance, huh?
Not bad at all. Very impressive. Cruz played as a freshman last year. Curveball, line drive into right field, a base hit. Picking it up in right field is Thune. So Overbrook has something going here in the 8th. A runner on first with 1 out. That'll bring the plate now Mike Rosicki. A senior has struck out, grounded to short, and singled.
And the other thing is Cruz already had the stolen base in the 1st inning. We know what kind of speed he has.
So we'll keep an eye on him.
Problem is, if he steals second, and
They could walk this runner if they wanted to.
Well, even more so than that, if they pitch to him, then they have Potts up next with the base open. You wonder if you want to take the bat out of Potts' hands. A lot of strategy to contemplate.
Mitchell from the stretch. In there for a called strike. Rosicki back in the box. We're in extra innings, tied at 3. One ball and one strike. Fastball popped in the center field. Dianunis coming in, camping under it. One-handed grab, done fairly easily for the second out of the inning.
I'm an old traditionalist, Tad. I like to see the two-handed grab.
Well, not only in normal situations, but with the wind blowing the way it's been today and all the tough plays we've had, it's more the reason. Here's Mike Potts, the junior, pitching today, pitching a fairly decent game. A lot of strikeouts in this one. He's flown out to center field and struck out twice. Unofficially, I have him, I believe, with 7 strikeouts. Fastball inside for a ball. See if we can double check on that here. 7 strikeouts is correct for Potts. Pickoff play at first. Nice catch out there by Bursner to keep the ball in play. Potts back in. Runner going, fouled back to the screen. Cruz had a pretty decent jump on that one. As we mentioned earlier, Mitchell hasn't thrown the ball a great deal to first base. He hasn't had to early on because there weren't any base runners, but when there have been base runners at first, he really hasn't thrown the ball a lot to first base. Curveball, line drive, foul, almost knocks the first base coach flat down there.
Paul Moriello really took a tumble that time, and again, Potts waited on that curve, did a good job. Just
that was about 3 feet over his head, hit on the line. Potts to step back in again. We're in extra innings. We have 2 outs in the top half of the 8th. With the lead is Cruz. First base. Respectable lead. There he goes. Fastball for a ball. The catcher held it too long. What is this now? Overrunning second base is Cruz. He's in a rundown, makes a mental mistake, and he is tugged out for the 3rd out of the inning. As he was kind of beamed on the head. I don't know what he was thinking out there, Mark.
I think he thought the ball was overthrown or something. I think somebody from Edgewood made a pretty good decoy that time and acted as if...
Really proud to bring you all this action here. Tremendous game. The best baseball games had the opportunity to call in a long, long time. Potts from the windup. First pitch. Curveball, ground ball to shortstop Landolt. Landolt squeezes, throws to first, and out on one pitch right there is Thune. So 1 down here in the 8th inning. That'll bring to plate Harold Mitchell.
And you know what? If you're Potts, you couldn't have asked for anything better this late stage in the game. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Oh, we're going to have a pinch hitter here, Mark? Let's see, we're going to send Mitchell up. Now Mitchell will bat. Mitchell is going to come to bat here. Now,
looked like Lindsey warming up there in the bullpen.
So we might see him next inning. Mitchell has homered in this game, has an RBI. He's also walked and scored. Ground swung on and missed on the off-speed pitch there.
Tell you, since he's hit that fastball for the home run, Potts has been basically giving him a steady diet of off-speed pitches.
A 1 pitch. Fastball popped, foul, could be playable. Lofgren down the sidelines, and we were totally shielded. I'll assume that's out of play there. Making it out of play was Lofgren, so second life here for Mitchell.
2 strikes to Mitchell. Edgewood hasn't gone 1, 2, 3 yet today. They have had their leadoff runner on all but 2 innings in this game. 2-strike pitch. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Mitchell goes down swinging for the 2nd time. That would be the 8th strikeout for Potts. That'll bring up the leadoff batter in the order. This is Ryan Bickle. He's flown out the left field, walked 3 times since then. He's walked in the 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th.
Of course, the 6th was when it had 2 balls and they gave him the intentional walk, pitched to McCree, and that has been one of the key strategy points right now in the game. Edgewood able.
Bickle, the junior from the left side, down the bunt, drag bunts it. Potts fields, long throw, and he gets him just in the nick of time. Got him by a step. No runs, no hits, no errors. The first time Edgewood has gone down 1, 2, 3. We move to the 9th inning. We are all tied at 3. We're in the 9th inning. Extra innings. We started off here. This will be Mike Potts. Potts was batting last inning. Cruz was picked off between 2nd and 3rd. There's a pop foul out of play as Potts chased the pitch a little bit low in the strike zone there. No balls and 1 strike to Mike Potts. Mike has flown out the center and struck out twice. In extra innings, we're in the 9th. Curveball, line drive, center field. Dianunis on it, one-handed grab. Dianunis with that one-handed grab. He's just into that Ricky Henderson kind of catching out there. Just kind of catches it and flicks the wrist down. I got it.
You know, for being a cold day, 2nd game of the season for both, I believe we only have 1 error in this game. It's, I know there have been a lot of strikeouts and everything, but defensively, both teams look to be in mid-season form.
Summers, long drive, left field. McCree chasing back to the fence. It's going to hold it. McCree, Smalls actually got that back at the fence. Summers gave that baby a ride as he sat on the fastball there, but a long out.
And I'll tell you what, Smalls backpedaling almost the way he played defensive back for Edgewood. Usually you see outfielders run back a different way, but it was effective for him right near the fence making the catch.
Here's Brian Landau to the plate. Junior struck out twice, flown out to 3rd base, swings at the first pitch and misses it. In the 9th inning right now, played 2 extra innings, tied at 3. We've seen a lot in this game. 0-1 pitch, curveball in the dirt, 1-1. We've seen a ground rule double, ruled a home run. We just saw a runner run past 2nd base, full speed, and get caught into a rundown. Seen a nice close play at home. Let's see a lot today. Seen 2 outstanding pitchers battling at one another. 1-1 with 2 outs. Pop foul, over the screen and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brian Landau. Sun getting awfully low down there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Landau. Line drive left field. Smalls chasing it. Did he catch it? No, he misses it. It's a base hit. Landau's going to hold it first. Smalls came full speed. The ball was sinking on him. He couldn't quite catch up with it.
I think what happened was he would have been better maybe almost making like a shoestring catch that time. The position of his glove, I think, and the angle of his glove was in the wrong way.
That was a big factor in that. Maybe if he basketed it, he might have had a better chance to catch it. Here's Lofgren, the senior. He's grounded out the first, struck out, and reached base on a fielder's choice. 2 outs here in the 9th. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1 strike to Greg Lofgren. From the stretch. Outside for a ball. It's 1-1.
Now give me that ball.
There you see the runner on first base there. That's Landolt.
And Landolt runs pretty well.
Now talking things over is Klein out there with Mitchell.
Come on out there, let's go. Tougher, be tougher now. Got you out.
1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the 9th inning. All tied at 3.
Tough out there, Green. Let's go. Come on, Goose. Come on, Goose.
Mitchell really taking his time out there now. I mean, it doesn't seem to like the ball he has out there. 1-1 pitch, runner going. Here comes the throw down to second. Head first slide in there safely is Landolt. So Landolt steals second. Mitchell really took his time out there, seemed overly concerned with the ball in his hand, and Landolt steals second.
Good throw by Klein that time, and I think what stole that base was the head first slide.
That was a real close play down there, no doubt about that. Lofgren back in the box at 6'2". Pretty decent pitcher, too. 2 balls and 1 strike to Greg Lofgren. Lead run at second base is Landolt. Foul back to the screen, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Greg Lofgren.
Hey, Mother Goose, what do you think, kid? Let's go, Goose back! Get him home, 3-5. Get him home, 3-5. Yeah, 3-5.
Lead run is Landolt on second base. 2-2 pitch. Curveball in the dirt, a real nice block by Klein. Man, oh man, I must have said it 40 times, Mark. These catchers showing all kinds of guts getting in front of these balls today.
Actually, anyone even to be a catcher shows a lot of guts just to begin with. And you're right, they've both shown a lot of skill in blocking the balls.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Overbrook goes down in the 9th. They got 1 base runner on 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We move to the bottom of the 9th here in extra innings. We're all tied at 3. He leads things off here in the 9th. Fastball ground to third baseman Rozicki. Rozicki long throw to first, but in plenty of time to put down McCree. There's 1 down on 1 pitch.
I'll tell you what, Potts has been throwing fewer pitches in the later innings, and maybe with his arm a little weary, he's not overthrowing and throwing more in the strike zone.
As I said, he went 1-2-3 for the first time in the 8th, and there was 1 pitch there in and out. Here's Steve Dianunis to the plate now. He's flown out to center, flied out to first, singled, and walked. 1 for 3 on the day. Curveball ground to third baseman Rozicki again. Nice backhand play, long throw, and out at first base out there is Dianunis. What a great play by Mike Rozicki.
Yeah, and what he did really well, Tad, was he positioned his feet beautifully. He didn't hurry up. He pivoted very well, got a lot of strength from his legs on that throw. That shows the kind of arm he has deep from third base.
He was almost right on the bag as he made that throw. Here's Bursner to the plate at junior. He singled in his first 2 at-bats, then flew out to the catcher and flew out to second base, 2 for 4 in the day. We're in extra innings, 2 outs in the home half of the 9th. Going for a marathon game today. Bursner steps in the dirt low, 1-0. There's that catcher again blocking at his range, going to pick it up. One ball and no strikes to work Bursner. Swing and a miss at a fastball. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Just missing outside for a ball. It's 2-1.
Boy, and Potts surprisingly still has decent velocity, noticeably down from early in the game, but still pretty decent.
2-1 delivery.
Curveball check swing back to Potts. Potts squeezes, throws to first, and we go one more inning. We move to the 10th. And we are back here, Jones Intercable Channel 13. Tad Kozaneski along with Mark Narducci, experiencing one of the longest games in baseball this year. We're in the 10th inning right now. An outstanding ball game. Edgewood versus Overbrook, two Olympic American rivals here going at it today. Couldn't ask for a better game. 10 innings.
Some people might ask for a little shorter one based on the weather here and the decreasing temperatures here at Edgewood.
Yeah, it's real. The sun's really going down low. It's really getting cold. Here's Brian Rain to the bat here. He struck out, flied out to first, and flied out to center. Officially 0 for 3 as we start action here in the 10th as we go off the scorecard here.
You know, we talk about the pitchers going all the distance. How about the catchers, Rain and Klein? Job they've done.
Unreal. Looks like we have an equipment problem for the catcher, Chris Klein, here. Man, oh man, Mitchell going to pitch another one. He's going to pitch 10 here today, at least.
I'll tell you what, in that inning, that last inning, Potts probably only threw fewer than 10 pitches.
And it's funny, too, as you were saying, he has seemed to got better as the game's got along. He's gone 1, 2, 3 in the 8th and 1, 2, 3 in the 9th. We're in the 10th inning, our third extra inning. Rain back in the box now. We're ready. Fastball inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Another one missing inside. 2-0 to Brian Rain. Rain in his second year as a varsity player. Inside and low, ball 3. Last time that Overbrook started with a base runner leading it off, they scored him. Pop foul, it's a 3-0 green light. That's a little surprising.
Yeah, I think it's surprising to Tony Santoni, too. I think Brian missed a sign that time. You usually don't give your number 8 hitter green light on 3-0 in the 10th inning.
Line drive, base hit, a gapper down the left field line. Smalls picks it up quickly with a good throw. They have a shot. Play at second base. The tag is safe. What a great play out there. Brian Rain in safely. Smalls with a great throw. He's lying face down out there in left field. What a play at second base.
You know what I think happened that time? I think the relay man, I believe McCree, had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Had he been able to do that, I think he would have gotten it. And how about Rain? A pitch after I joked that you don't give the number 8 hitter the green light on 3-0. He smokes a double.
9th hitter in the lineup, the senior Darren Kane. Flown out to third, singled and scored, and flied out to left. Pickoff play on. Oh, he's out. He's a dead duck at second, and they have picked off Brian Rain at second base. Coach Sindoni says, come here for a second. Brian Rain is picked off second base. How does that happen? He's still smiling, though. Wow. That's all you can say there is wow. You can see the pickup coming all the way from here, and Rain just didn't react to it.
Boy, what a great pickoff throw that time. First of all, you wonder why you have a big lead when you're in scoring position like that.
Pop foul out of play. Things just continue to happen in this game. We have seen some odd things in this game, that's for sure. That's one of many. We're in the 10th inning. In high school ball, you're only scheduled to play 7. So we're in our 3rd inning of extra inning ball here, and they've run out of balls here at home plate. Now we're going to dig one out. Now they get it back into play here. Mitchell wants to switch. He wants the other one. Well, I hope we brought enough tape here today to put this game on tape, Mark. Man, oh man. We could be here forever.
Baseball's version of War and Peace.
You aren't kidding. Ground ball at third baseman Lindsay. Lindsay grabs, long throw. Nice stretch there by Versner, and they get the out at first base. Second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the leadoff batter, Mike Sager. He's grounded to short, struck out, doubled and scored, and struck out. 2 outs. We're here in the 10th.
Of course, with Rain getting picked off, that changed the strategy that Kane did. Kane would have been trying to go to the right side had there been the runner at second.
Fastball for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to Mike Sager.
I'll tell you, Tad, we said these are 2 of the premier junior pitchers in South Jersey, and I don't think they've let us down.
0-1 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed by Sager. They've been offering it that one all day. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 10th. We're all tied at 3. Sager is back in the box. Curveball missing inside for a ball. Gets by the catcher, Klein. Klein's got to make that long trip back to the backstop to go retrieve it.
Tell you what, as cold as it is now, he probably doesn't mind that.
Warm me up a little bit. I tell you, it almost feels like we've had a 20-degree turnaround in temperature here since we've been sitting here. Not a meteorologist, but that's what it feels like now. It's cold. The pitch. Curveball swung on in the dirt. There'll be a play at first. And that is the 3rd out of the inning. As retired is Sager. They have to find a way to end the game, so they base it on the amount of runners who've reached base. And one game was won on a stolen base in the ninth inning. Here we go, 10th inning. In there for a called strike. This is Carl Lang. He's grounded to second. Struck out, grounded to second, and grounded to first. Coach Lee, jeez. He really got something out there. Curveball, low for a ball. Is that called? Oh, no, okay. Crowd's getting loud. It's hard for me to hear the count. 1-1 is the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Overbrook is gone. Actually, Potts has put down Edgewood 1-2-3 in the last 2 innings. Swing and a miss. Lang had a pretty good cut at that. 2 balls and I believe, is that 2 strikes?
2 and 1.
2 and 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Carl Lang, the DH.
Gotta make that 1 and 2. I'm sorry.
1 and 2. Curveball bloop to the second baseman Lofgren. He lets it bounce and an error. We have a base runner. Cruz actually came in, the second baseman, kind of nonchalantly took his time out there, Mark, and he's given an error on that play. So an E4 goes to Joe Cruz, first runner on here in the 10th. Stranger things have happened, though, in this game. Chris Klein, the batter, he's walked and scored, struck out, flied to right, and singled back in the 7th. If Edgewood can get a runner home, they win this game. Lang's at first, nobody out. We're in the 10th. Average lead. All inside, 1-0. Klein, of course, the catcher today. As Mark said, he's got to be a little tired catching 10 innings in this one. In low, almost sit in the dirt. A little bit low there. 2 balls and no strikes. It's an understatement to say these pitchers are tired here. In the 10th. 2-0 pitch coming. Fastball grounded up the middle. Could be 2. Landau flips to second for 1. That's all they're going to get. I thought if Potts could grab that, they'd get 2, but it ended up bouncing over his head. So they do get the lead runner on the force out, and there's 1 down.
Boy, and Landell did a good job because sometimes that's a tough throw when you're that close to your second baseman. Sometimes you throw it way too hard. He didn't have a whole lot of time either. I thought he did an outstanding job.
Klein's on first in the fielder's choice. Here's Smalls. Smalls has struck out, walked, and stole a base, and flied out to second.
Boy, and Rosicki has to be playing up, fearful of the potential bunt.
Curveball inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Low for a ball, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to Greg Smalls. At first base is Chris Klein. He got on first in the fielder's choice. Fastball high inside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes.
You know, I think Smalls was taking all the way on that anyway. You know, with his speed, you want him on the bag, on the bases, and now 3-0, he's going to take probably 2.
Strike called, 3-1.
I don't think you'll see him lifting the bat on this one either.
On deck, John Boone. Ground ball, third baseman Rosicki, could be 2 to Cruz 1, back to first. Not in time. The speedy Smalls gets down there. You have a feeling Smalls is going to attempt to try and take second, too, on this one, as the Thum is up, the 8th hitter in the lineup.
I'll tell you what, Klein did an outstanding job on the takeout slide as far as to avert that double play, as well as Smalls runs. Without that takeout slide, they may have had a better chance to double him up. But you can be guaranteed he's going.
Pickoff try, Smalls back in safely. Thum on the day struck out twice, flied out to short, and grounded out to second. 0 for 4 in the day. This would be a time to come up big. Keeping an eye over there on Smalls.
Yeah, he's getting a big lead.
He's gone. Here's the throw down to second base. Head first slide in safely. Real nice backup by Landau. Or they could have been facing a runner down at third base. Smalls with a tremendous jump. So Smalls steals second. If they can get him home, they can win the game. John Thum, the junior, at the plate.
You know, it would be gutsy, but with his kind of speed, I know they're 2 outs. What about trying third base on the steal?
Who knows?
You have your number 8 hitter up. Then you face the prospect of possibly scoring on a pass ball. I don't see it happening, but...
Swung on and missed for a strike. We've seen everything today, Mark. 1-1 is the count right now to Thum. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, low. Nice block by Rain. We're in the 10th inning. Runner on second base is Smalls. If he can get around, Edgewood would win it.
And as respect for Smalls, Landau really shading toward the bag, as is Cruz. They're really keeping him close.
Strike called, just above the knees. Thum now with his work cut out. Thum back in the box. See his teammates behind him. 2 balls and 2 strikes right now to John Thum, the junior. 2-2 pitch. Curveball fouled back behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, from a manager's point of view, Tad, excuse me, this has really been a fun game because of all the decisions you've had to make.
No doubt about that. They've made a lot of decisions in this one. A lot of them good, too. 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. And guess what, Mark? We now go to the 11th inning. So they have to come out, not because they want to, because they have to. There's a fastball fouled out of play. The 10-inning rule. We should have thought of that. That's unreal. So both pitchers will be out.
Now, the amazing stat, Mitchell 159 pitches, Potts 164.
Oh, man. Soak that arm, baby. Fastball looped into left field, chasing the Smalls, backing up to the fence, and he squeezes it about 3 feet in front of the fence. Cruz gave it a ride, but he flies out to left. There's one down in the 11th.
We mentioned it before, Smalls is the first outfielder I've seen that actually backpedals that way, the way, as we said before, a defensive back would. I think it's always better for an outfielder to sort of like run to the side.
Here's Mike Rosicki to plate. First pitch to him, pops foul out of play. He struck out, grounded to short, singled, and flew out to center.
Then again, Smalls can outrun a lot of balls.
I guess almost with the fence out there, that's almost the proper strategy, because if you back up into the fence, you have a better chance of holding your feet if you back up than if you kind of turn and run into it. Who knows? As long as you catch them, that's the bottom line. In the dirt low. New pitcher Don Albertson. 1 ball and 1 strike right now to Mike Rosicki. We're in the 11th inning. Low for a ball, it's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike right now to Mike Rosicki.
How you shooting now? How you shooting, Donnie? Let's go, kid! How you shooting, Don?
Fastball popped foul down the right field line and rolls out of play down there. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Rosicki. You always get the feeling, Mark, that this game is never going to end. It's just going to go on and on and on. Got to give Overbrook a lot of credit in this one. They've had their back to the door a couple times, backs to the door a couple times, and they've responded every time.
Tell you, I think both teams you really have to credit showing their competitiveness. Well, I'll tell you what, both of them have had games postponed because of rain, so now I guess they figured they'd get a couple games in today.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 for the second out of the 11th here. Rosicki goes down swinging. That'll bring to the plate Mike Potts. Potts, of course, the starting pitcher. He won't be able to pitch the next inning because of that 10-inning rule Mark talked about. He's flied out to center, struck out twice, and flied out to center. Now, if he hits a home run here, per se, he could win this game, correct? Or if they get a run, this inning, he could win this game. On the other hand, Mitchell cannot win this game as he is already out. Line drive foul into a bus down there, down the first base line. 1 strike to Potts.
How would you like to be the Overbrook bus driver thinking, yeah, I'll get home plenty of time?
Well, you know, you said at the beginning of the game, if dinner's left, I know dinner is gone now. There's no hope of me getting dinner now. Going to stop at one of the fast food establishments, I think, on the way home here. Pitch to Potts, high and outside for a ball. Our poor cameraman must be falling. Their arms and shoulders must be falling here on this one. There you see it, 1-1, 2 outs. We're in the 11th. Pop foul out of play down that right side again, down towards those cars down there. Hits off one of the cars.
Hey, don't feel too sorry for the cameraman. Maybe they're on overtime.
Oh, there you go. There you have it. The American way. Man, oh man. It's been a long one. We're in 11 here. This will be a game to remember for quite a few years. Curveball nearly hitting Potts up there. Now a new ball taken out there by Albertson. Potts back in the box. 2 outs here in the top of the 11th. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Potts goes down swinging. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We move to the home half of the 11th. We are all tied at 3. New pitcher, new batter. Welcome to the game, guys. Where have you been? First pitch. Fastball outside for a ball. 1-0.
The pitching rules, I believe they're worded that a pitcher can go 10 innings in a 4-day period, which is why both pitchers are now out of the game.
That's your 4-day period right there. Feels like we've gone that long. Line drive at the shortstop and a base hit. Landau didn't get in front of the ball, elected to go to the side, but hit hard enough. We'll give credit for a hit from Mike Gambone. I think Gambone had enough time sitting on the bench to say, let's get us out of here. He lines one in there to center field.
Well, what happens is, and again, Landau let the ball play him instead of playing the ball, and
here comes a no number to run. Now, I can guess this could be Eric Albert. It could be Eric Albert. We're going to check on this here in a second. So a big hit right there from Mike Gambone. Gambone is leaving the game right now. You see him slapping Bickle. We'll get the word on the pinch runner here in a second. Bickle to the game, in the game for the 6th time now, batting. He's flown out to left, walked 3 times, and grounded out to the pitcher. We're going to find out this pinch runner, Mark, has made his way over to the bench. Now he's going to make it back here as Bickle steps in the box. Sager now looking in for his sign. And it is Eric Albert running on base. The bunt is down, but foul. Charging hard was Rosicki at 3rd. On deck is Mike McCree, the 2nd hitter, then Steve Dianunis, the 3rd hitter in the lineup. So Albert is the pinch runner at first base. He is a senior. We're in the 11th inning. It's been a long one.
how about home plate umpire Anthony Aaron wearing short sleeves all game? What a trooper.
Man, he's insane. Albert takes his lead. Bickle squares around. Charging is Rosicki. Stepping off the mound is Sager. Edgewood bench trying to show some encouragement there. There's the stretch. Round the bunt. Fakes it. Pulls it back. It's a ball. Look at I don't know if you can see Rosicki in the screen. Rosicki is coming like a freight train from 3rd base. There's your batter. Bickle again, around to bunt. Bunts and misses. That's his 2nd strike. Now he knows he's going to swing away here. He kind of just threw the bat out there, Mark. It's kind of tough to bunt that way. 2 strikes to him. Rosicki at 3rd trying to figure out if he plays up on the grass or not. He's still going to play up on the grass. In the 11th. There's the 1-2 pitch coming around the bunt again. Gets the bunt down. It's a pretty good bunt. Fielded by Sager. Over to 1st for the out. The sacrifice is good. Albert moves up to 2nd base. He represents the game. Sacrifice for Bickle on the play. Moving up to 2nd on the sacrifice is Gambone. Here's Mike McCree to the plate. He singled, struck out, grounded to 2nd. And he's also grounded to 3rd. Also called out in the fielder's choice. Sophomore up at the plate right now. An outstanding hitter. Sager has his work cut out for him with 1 out. We're in the 11th. A hit for all intents and purposes could end it. Outfield up a couple steps. Line drive could be fair or foul down the right field line. It's just a foul ball. Foul by about 5 feet down the right field line. McCree just missed a game-winning RBI there. And he is a line drive hitter, Mark, and that ball just shot right off the bat. There's your base runner. He represents the game. That's Eric Albert. There's the man who can win the game. We are in the 11th inning.
a marathon. No balls and 1 strike to Mike McCray. The stretch. 0-1 pitch. Curveball. In there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Coach Lee went down to his knees down there at third base on that one.
Boy, Sager's breaking pitch has a nice little bite at the end of it, doesn't it?
That was a real nice pitch there. 0-2 pitch coming. Swung on and missed, strike 3. McCree goes down swinging. Chased the curveball. Real nice pitch there by Sager. There are 2 outs in the inning now. Steve Dianunis comes to the plate. He flew out the center, flew out the first, singled, walked, and grounded out the third. Winning run still at second base in the form of Eric Albert. Mike Sager with an out can send us to the 12th inning. Steve Dianunis to the plate. Stretch by Sager. Fastball a little low for a ball. It's 1-0. Dianunis just asked the umpire, was that a ball or a strike? A little confused. No ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Infield in, they want to have enough room to get the runner at second base at the plate. 1-0 the count right now to Dianunis. Sager from the stretch. Fastball lined into right field. Potts chasing. He catches it, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Hit right at the right fielder, Mike Potts. The crowd was on its feet for a second, but that means we now go to the 12th inning. 12th inning of action here on Jones Intercable. Doing a little overtime today. Here's first pitch to Summers. Swung on and missed for a strike. 1-0. Rob Lindsay on the mound, played third base majority of the game. Albertson pitched last inning, now Lindsay's turn. At the rate we're going, nobody's going to have any pitchers left after this one. Curveball swung on for a miss. Summers way out in front of that one.
Keep in mind now, too, every pitcher who comes in is fresh.
Ground ball foul hit off his body there. Count remains 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Mike Summers. Summers back in the box. Fastball grounded right at the pitcher, Lindsay. Lindsay going to take his time, gets it over to first base, and Summers is out for the 1st out of the 12th. And with 1 down, that'll bring Brian Landolf, the junior, to the plate. He struck out twice, flied out the 3rd, and singled back, way back in that 9th inning. Rob Lindsay on the mound. Throwing strikes, we hope. Outside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Didn't miss by much, though. And then you can see that shot. The sun's starting to go down.
Yeah, just about behind the school now. High for a ball. This reminds me of that soccer game we had last year in the dark, just about. The only way we could see is by looking at our TV monitor here. It's starting to get to that point now. Pitch to Landolf. In there for a called strike, a late called strike there. Landolf takes it though. Pitch to Landolf. In there for a called strike. Just got enough of that outside corner.
Yeah,
there.
Lindsay, whether he's been throwing the breaking ball or the fastball, is really working the corners well.
curveball outside for a ball. I believe it's a full count here, Mark. Am I correct in that? I'm trying to get the umpire's signal here. Full count is correct. Popped in the infield. McCree, the shortstop, back, still back. Now he squeezes it for the second out of the inning. There's 2 outs in the 12th.
Oh, and he swung at ball 4 that time. Pinch hitter up now.
Let's check the old scorecard and see who we have. This would be Brian Ruggieri, number 11. So Ruggieri sometimes plays the DH, will come into the game. Now, who is Ruggieri batting for?
Lofgren.
I can't even read my own scorecard now.
If it's any consolation, I can't read your scorecard either. I thought my writing was bad.
I didn't allow for 12 extra innings here, so you know, if I'm through 9, I'm okay.
You know, everyone laughs at me because I always keep the baseball score on a regular notepad rather than a book for this very reason.
I thought I had the same thing. I cut it off at 9, and that's the longest game I've ever seen in my life. And here we are going 4 innings beyond that, so I kind of did myself in. Ruggieri now into the black box. Swung on and missed for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Ruggieri.
Boy, he gives new meaning to the word coming in cold off the bench, huh?
No doubt about that. Brian Ruggieri Jr. A little bit high and outside for a ball. It's 1-1. There you see Ruggieri.
Yeah, they were going to run this game, you know, a couple times in the afternoon. They may have to move it to the morning.
The pitch. Just missing inside for a ball. How long have we gone in this game? I don't have a watch on. Anybody in the truck, do you have any idea how long we've gone with? Seriously, is that the serious time they're telling me? They're telling us on tape we have 4 hours and 45 minutes on tape. Line drive into left field. Smalls comes in, he drops the ball. Ruggieri kind of half went at it there, thought it was going to be caught. He stopped at first base. Smalls dropped the ball. So on first base now is Ruggieri on the error. And here's Lofgren to the plate.
No, this is
Oh, I'm sorry. That was in Lofgren's spot. This is Rain into the plate.
right.
He struck out, grounded out to first, flown out to center, and doubled. Now we're going to get a pinch runner. This is number 39 pinch running. Was that 39, Mark?
Yeah.
I don't have a 39 here, of course. Probably could be a JV player, believe it or not. Mark's going to check on our pinch runner. They're down there at first. So a pinch runner down at first, and they're getting it straight with the umpire now. I can't believe we have 4 hours and 45 minutes on tape right now. Man, oh man, Tad and Mark getting a lot of airtime here on Channel 13 today.
That pinch runner is Rob Lagarina, as you correctly surmised, is a JV player.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't want to insult the intelligence of the people in our truck, but there's no way the game could be 4 hours and 45 minutes if it started.
Oh, okay. There we go. 3 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, I feel a little better about that now. It's like, man, oh man.
I mean, you don't have to have a degree from MIT to figure out that if a game starts at 3:30 and it gets dark at about 7:30.
Hey, I didn't even know what time. For all I know, it's 10 o'clock at night. I don't even know what the... Oh, it certainly does, they say. It's been a long day for everyone here, from the truck people.
Hey, but you
to
gotta
cameramen.
love it. High school baseball.
I'm telling you. It's been interesting. At least I can say I did 2 games in one day. Runner stealing, throw down, going to bounce in time and out at second base. Would you believe it? Got a horrible jump down there. It was Lagarina. Lagarina was dead to rights even with the bad throw.
Hey, I wonder if we could go 2 more, if we could tell our boss Joe Vaselli that we did 2 games.
There you go.
Curveball in there for a called strike. No balls in one strike.
Hey, if that's the case, I'm going to start rooting for 14 innings.
We might as well. We've been here this long. We might as well go the distance here. It could be worse. There could be lights on this field, Mark. As you said earlier. Just missing outside 1-1.
Well, then we'd have to worry about when the curfew was in the town.
Oh boy, 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for a strike. It's 1-2.
You laughed at me when I talked about the speed-up rules
I'm telling you, man, this is unreal.
3 hours and 50 minutes ago in the first inning.
They should have some kind of speed-up rules.
I'm going to write an article that South Jersey should use the Japan rules. The more and more I think of it.
I'll go along and endorse that, man, especially in this one.
Stolen base wins the game. Oh, it would be great.
In fact, like I said, that article was in your paper today. I was in one. It wasn't in the sports section.
We have to keep re-mentioning it for people who are joining us late.
If we're in another day already of showing this.
Yeah.
That one's low for a ball. What we're talking about is the Japanese in their preseason games had tournaments. The games had to be done by midnight because of their transit system shuts down. So when they started playing extra innings, they started going on a point system, which was based on the amount of runners that reached base and total bases and goofy things like that. And one game was won on a stolen base. So that's what we're talking about here. Fastball inside, ball four, and we have a base runner. Bursner's on first. Nobody out. We're in the 12th. Carl Lang, the DH, comes to the plate. He's grounded out to second, struck out, grounded to second, grounded to first, and reached base on an error. And the Rams are going to talk things over. Nearing the 4-minute mark of playing time here.
4 minute.
Or 4 hour. Oh, geez, I am getting groggy here, Mark. 3-3, we're in the 12th. Overbrook and Edgewood. Nobody out. Bursner on first. Sager looks in now for his sign. A pitch around the bunt. He gets the bunt down. It's fielded by Sager. One play to first base. They get the out. Nice bunt right there by Lang. So right now, Edgewood has 2 opportunities to win this game. There's one out here on the 12th. Chris Klein, the catcher, comes to the plate right now. Klein has walked and scored, struck out, flied to right, walked, and reached base on a fielder's choice. Klein could be the hero. If not, it goes back to Mr. Smalls, and you see your base runner. That's your winning run down there at second base. Guys from Edgewood starting to get into it again. Sager looking in. From the stretch. Pitch decline in there for a called strike. 1 strike to count to Chris Klein. In the 12th inning, I'm Tad Kazaneski along with Mark Narducci here on Jones Intercable in a marathon of a game. The last run that was scored was almost 6 innings ago in the 7th. Pitch in the dirt. What a scoop right there by Rain. Rain obviously tired, didn't have a chance to get his body in front of it, but he just got that ball in his glove.
Absolutely.
1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, winning run at second base. That's Bursner on second. You see him in the background.
Oh!
Kickoff play, the ball's loose. Moving on to second base, we might have a play. Here's the throw, sliding in safely. So kind of a miscommunication and a breakdown, and now moving into third base is Bursner. 2 opportunities now to bring him in with the game here in the 12th.
I'll tell you what, though, I think a good throw gets him. I thought Bursner was really caught leaning that time. That ball actually hit the second base bag and carried off.
Now we're... the Edgewood guys were a little excited. They were getting out of the dugout, and the umpire warned Coach Lee to get his guys back in the dugout. Now there's a conference on the mound right at the pitcher, and they have a shot to score the run here.
The pitch. Pitch out, nothing on. They could pitch out all day long, too, if they wanted. They have 2 bases open here. That's the only thing about this, if you do squeeze here. Sager. Fastball popped in the infield. Would you believe it? Rosnicki backing up. One-handed grab just brings it in. There's 2 outs here in the 12th. That was a chance right there to break this one open by Klein. That's about the only thing that couldn't score the run right there besides a strikeout or a ground ball to the pitcher.
You know, I still say, with Smalls up there, we've seen his tremendous speed. I'd have him bunt. I know they're 2 outs. Let them throw him out.
First base is back. Second short is back. Third is even back right now. So it's there. We'll see what happens. Smalls on the day has struck out, walked, flied to second, and grounded to third. Pitch to Smalls. Curveball in there for a called strike. Greg Smalls with a chance to win it. We're in the 12th. The longest game in the history of Jones Intercable, I'm sure. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2.
Low and away, Sager keeping it for him.
Got to give Sager some credit. He got 1 out with the runner on third. Can he get the second out? 2 strikes to Smalls. 0-2 pitch. Fastball into right center field, and that's going to be the ball game if it falls, and it is. The game is over. Greg Smalls wins it in a base hit on the 12th, and they mob Greg Smalls at the plate. As Lang comes in to score, actually Burster comes in to score, and there they are in a massive humanity. What a game.
Yeah,
Mark.
and Smalls is probably saying, I showed that guy, he wanted me to bunt, huh? What a great job with 2 strikes, too, behind in the count, and getting that winning hit, and that's a big, big win for Edgewood. You know, they came in as potential contenders this year. Starting off with wins over Eastern and now Overbrook is a good start.
So Rob Lindsay's going to pick up the win. Mike Sager gets the loss. That's going to do it for us in the 12th inning. Once again, Edgewood wins it on the hit by Greg Smalls. Edgewood moves on to 2-0.